I would have had more, but I was full of Sheffield.
Well, this is it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So where they are crushed inside those lorries.
The vets hit them with planks. Vets.
Yeah, but almost make them so huge, they're in
Listen,
agony.
boo-hoo about calves. They do that with crabs. I don't see you weeping about crabs.
Well, I think every animal has as much right to decent treatment as we do.
Yeah.
You're wrong, and you're a grotesquely ugly freak. Thanks. Animal rights. It's an extremely controversial subject, and it's not just the odd dinner party punch-up over squealing meat. It's the Spaniards chucking horses out of church towers, the Chinese sucking the brains out of live monkeys, and now this, a shocking example taken from a recent Libyan news.
The footage shows a ritual from the feast of Eid al-Adha, an outdoor celebration in which the men of Tripoli have a great time. But the same cannot be said for their cattle. At the climax of the feast, a cow is rounded up and driven into a metal tube, a tube which is charged with explosives. The cow is fired through the air and lands in a crunched-up bone heap. Running men then clobber any remaining life out of it with their fists and feet and sticks. The body is dragged about and then left for the dogs and jackals. And possibly scorpions if they eat meat, I don't know.
Tonight on Brasseye, animals. Are we too nice or too nasty?
Over the centuries, man's relationship with animals has been complex. In ancient Egypt, felines were worshipped because the Egyptians thought they were funny. Many of today's familiar relics are cat monuments. These vast cat heads were built underground and seen by no one. Europe too has its animal traditions. In Zaragoza, the streets still get crazy with the annual running of the wasp. In Britain in the last century, it was quite acceptable for a young gentleman to lose his virginity to one of London's many whore dogs. Dickens and Prince Albert both boasted of their experience. Today, animals are used more discreetly as a vital lubricant in the wheels of government.
It was my job for 17 years to procure wild beasts for the House of Parliament. I had to get bats, gibbons.
Ex-civil servant Foster Pan purchased over 1,000 animals to work in Westminster.
Michael Heseltine finds it very useful, if he's angry, to have an ape to slap. Kenneth Clark has a baby moose in a cupboard.
The most commonly used animals are zebras, hurrying between offices with documents pinned to their bodies.
Tony Benn had a tapir in the 70s that used to send messages on around Whitehall. Rude messages to the Lords, I always remember. He used to pin to the head of the tapir. Most of it was great fun. I enjoyed the job. The only real difficulty I had was trying to haul a basking shark up the Thames for Jack Ashley. It didn't really work out. It died after about 3 days being tethered to the terrace. Jack was quite unpopular after that for a while.
So much for the fat brass of Westminster, but this East London boozer knows all about animal abuse, because here, every week, beer users gather to watch large men fight with weasels.
There's normally about 40 men in a room, standing round in a ring, and a bag above your head. Somebody pulls a string, the weasels cascade out onto you, and you've got as short a time as possible to dispatch them all. I've seen a man die weasel fighting. When you're fighting a weasel, he's bigger than a man. And there is money in it, if you're good. There's other perks as well. The women, they fancy you if they see you kicking the shit out of a weasel.
After 13 years in which he pulped over 4,000 weasels, Bernard Loring suffered a compound nervous breakdown.
I lost it, and I just picked up a living doing otters, which are very easy, are very docile animals, and even when they pump them full of rat hormones, which they do, you can kill an otter in about a second. Just kick its face off.
There are many legal sports that kill animals too.
I think the thing that people get fussed about is that a fox is a small brown furry animal, very much like a dog. I don't think they'd be nearly so worried if it was a little four-legged car full of chips.
The evil in our relationship remains a paradox. If you plot number of animals abused against what makes people cruel versus intelligence of either party, the pattern is so unreadable you might as well draw in a chain of fox heads on sticks. And if you do that, an interesting thing happens. The word cruel starts flashing. So, are we cruel to hunt foxes?
The fox feels nothing. It's made of string.
Or are we too nice? This is a busload of flies that are being sent on holiday to Africa. They'll enjoy Somalia, but should they? Can it possibly be right for gene men to play with DNA?
This one survived a couple of days and then just keeled over and died.
Is this wrong?
How on earth can you justify this? And has anybody ever come up with a reasonable argument for this? Of course, animals and man have coexisted since long before we all evolved. But while cruelty still makes our hearts bleed like fresh operation scars in a hot bath, our daily language is full of abuse with expressions like frog stupid. Why? For some answers, David Jatt asked Carla Lane for them.
I saw something in the paper this morning waiting. A bulldog mauled a girl. We don't want that.
No.
But when you read on...
We wouldn't like a girl to maul a bulldog either.
No.
No.
But when you read on, you learn that some boys threw the bulldog into the garden to get a fight together.
Yeah.
Now, the bulldog was put down, but nobody said, what did they do to the bulldog before they put it in the garden?
They take the tail,
But
they wind it up like that, they
Yes.
crank it, they tweak its central nervous system, and it goes like a bloody rocket.
Yes.
And the fact is
But
that...
they put it down,
what would you do, though,
no
to those...
thought.
Of course. Now, they put the dog down. What would you like to see to happen to the people that wound up its tail and fired it off like some elastic-powered
There are
glider?
no words to describe. Prison's not good enough because
No.
prisons become bed and breakfast and telly.
Prison's too good. What about jail?
Perhaps they ought to be...
They should have their coccyx twisted.
Yes.
That would
And now
sort them
people
out.
are going to say... oh,
Can I
yeah.
just say, this, which has been prepared by the news graphic people, represents what's going on in one way. Is that the sort of thing that you would agree with?
Human version of it. Yes, no, I think so. Because I've been 20 years going to the ministers, and they're finding out what man does.
Yeah.
Not only to calves and sheep,
But-
to everything. Frogs' legs they're onto.
Weasel fighting in the East End?
Everything.
I mean, pulling live weasels out of the wild and making them fight a man.
Yeah, and you know, they do have endearing, wonderful habits, animals. I had 2 guinea pigs and they were both 11 years old
Jesus.
and one died.
Yeah.
And you know, just before it died, it washed its little face.
From what you're saying, have we got it right or wrong so far?
What, people?
People.
Wrong.
We're right
100
here.
million times people wrong.
What chance of getting even here, let alone here?
Oh, dear. Not much.
Here?
Never in my lifetime or yours.
Just watch
How
this
many
then.
thousand years?
We're trying this, and there's a tension, and it's just going to go back like that.
I think so.
During the Blitz, when many clocks were destroyed, Londoners could tell the time by watching a dog throw itself off a high board, which it did precisely every 60 seconds, 24 hours a day for over 8 months.
Institutionalised cruelty is one thing, but the twisted brain wrong of a one-off man-mental is quite another. Ted Maul disturbs. Arable Wiltshire, a peaceful country haven supporting rural life like something out of a cheese ad. It doesn't look troubled.
But it is, at least for one of these cows. Thanks to money, this, and a human mind as bent as a bad hedge.
6 months ago, life for a cow here at Park Farm was pretty much like this.
Nothing much going on here.
But last June, out of nowhere, anti-cow slogans started appearing on the sheds. The text specifically designed to undermine the cow's confidence. Local press caught whiff of a weird one when the vandal shot his paint straight at the cow in the form of words like twat. and later fucknut and arse candle, as the campaign plunged into overdrive. Next came a wave of sick attachments. Cow attached to a filing cabinet, cow attached to a mini-engine in a shopping trolley. What sort of mind would do this?
And what's the result?
We contacted a huge bank of psychiatrists in the States.
we thought so
They
too.
told us
Fine,
the
hang on.
guy's a homo.
Oh, it's definitely homosexual.
Then a breakthrough. The vandal was caught on camera.
You're bum, you got no knickers, have you?
This farmer's son's handycam footage shows him at work,
Go on, fuck off.
whispering inept insults down a wire straight into the cow's head.
Don't you know what electricity is? These little planets in the wire, isn't it?
The man was Simon ᵒᵉ, known locally as Chob.
Push off my wire.
He does odd jobs and lives in a field.
Toss ours.
But that night, Chob had discovered a bad new hobby.
Idiot, fucking idiot, 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 idiot. Stupid, stupid fucking idiot.
It seemed the resulting court action would be an open and shut case, but it wasn't. These pics from the Beebs Western Region show.
But what, free on a technicality?
Local feeling ran high. One activist got so angry he donned a cow suit and lammed ᵒᵉ right outside the court. Wow, he chopped him in the gob. And he's legged it. Great running. He may have been free, but Chob owed the world an explanation.
Right, you, I'm gonna muck your lens, right, you gay sod?
ᵒᵉ prevented himself giving us a real interview, but during our visit we gleaned vital clues from some documents we nicked through an open window. These docs show that ᵒᵉ had been driven nuts because the land on which he lives is owned by the cow. In the will of Edith Bates, a local crone who loved cattle, then eccentric, now dead, the cow inherited the land and a special bank account for stockpiling rent. Meanwhile, for the beast, which knows nothing of money or bitter mankind, life has become a living cowmare, thanks to the thoughtless beneficence of a mad old woman.
So far, do we have it right or wrong? Let's have a look at the answer, Prancer. Thanks. Found out exactly what to think next.
Still to come up, David Jatt meets Peregrine Worsthorne.
Here's a point. We execute wasps, but we don't execute dogs.
We execute wasps because they sting us, and dogs give us pleasure.
Do wasps really sting us?
Well, they do. They have stung me, and it seemed like a sting.
Was it actually a sting?
I call it a sting. I mean, I'm a
You see, I've
creature of
never
habit.
been stung by a wasp. I don't necessarily believe we're told they sting.
Well, I have been stung by a wasp, and they do sting.
People say that snakes sting and snakes bite.
I haven't been stung by a snake, I'm glad to say.
Well, that's because they bite.
If I had, I would, or bite.
Now that, weirdly, I believe, and yet I've never been bitten by a snake. Why don't I believe, why do a lot of people not believe that wasps sting?
Well, come out into our garden in South Bucks and, on a summer's day. I'll find you a wasp, and I think...
Sting me with it.
What?
You'd sting me with a wasp.
This is a conversation...
Yes.
Before it all stops, a school tour for the Oxford Don who believes all animals are vegetarian.
Now, what do crocodiles eat? Natalie?
Other animals.
No, they eat grass.
Why wildlife documentaries are often misleading.
There is some very famous footage of a lion killing a wildebeest. How do you explain that?
The lion may have been chasing the wildebeest. In fact, it was chasing it to catch up with it, to give it a potato.
And can animal breeding go too far? A discussion point for David Jatt and horse jumper Oliver Skeet.
Is it because they don't have legs that it makes spherical cows so bad, or is it because that there's some kind of cruelty involved? I mean, what?
Actually, I'm not actually sure what they do to the cows, right?
Well, they breed them in a particular direction, interfere with their genes, so they're just a big ball of meat.
No, well, you see, I wouldn't like to eat that. Definitely. If I knew I was eating that, I would go absolutely mad. It's like somebody putting, I don't know, a bit of snot in a bit of bread and giving it to you. It's the same.
Really, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Somebody's at a restaurant, to give you this scenario, right? Somebody out there, and they get what they think is a piece of spherical cow on their plate. What do?
They just eat it, don't they?
Yeah, but what should they do, for God's sake? Yeah.
Well, I mean, what they should do, really, is make us think about it. They should start phoning up people and start complaining about, you know, the meat that they're eating.
This came from a spherical cow. How dare you sell this to me?
That's right, of course.
There was more good news for animals with Mike Fox's elephant campaign last month. Let me explain. If this elephant was called Mike Fox, then it would have exactly the same name as the man that did the campaign about the elephant last month.
Mike Fox and Andrew Dean. These men hate zoos. Together, they run the World Organization for Decreasing Captive Animal Problems, ＷFHCAP, which incorporates against animal anger and autocausal abuse atrocities in zoos. Ours. 2 weeks ago, they read about Carla, an East German elephant who'd been so upset by captivity she'd stuck her trunk in her anus. In seconds, a campaign was born to publicise Carla's plight in a video and tell the world about zoochosis, the disease that drives animals nuts. Jilly Cooper was busy writing a book.
Hello?
Hello, has Jilly come out of her shed?
Speaking.
But Fox persuaded her to send a drawing of Carla in her plight.
Thank you very much for your picture.
Oh.
And we showed it to Carla.
Oh.
And I think she gave a little elephant smile.
Oh, I love that. I want to cry. That's sweet.
The zoo is, you know, still not acknowledging the problem,
They
so...
are bastards.
But she could be accommodated by Jimmy Page.
Absolutely. I mean, it's only because this is a terrible year for me because I'm doing this bloody book. But
Oh, bloody book.
Oh, Duck, you made me very happy.
All right, Jilly.
Okay, darling. Nice to talk to you. Bye.
Bye.
With Jilly's drawing on her shirt, Britt Eklund told the world about ＷFHCAP.
Last year, they stopped penguins catapulting each other through the glass roof at Sydney Zoo. Last month, they stopped a pig throwing itself out of a tree onto a python in a two-way death pact in Chester. Now they want to help Carla, an East German elephant who has got her trunk jammed up her own guts.
I can't understand the mentality or the physical makeup, mental makeup of anybody that lets an elephant get into that condition.
Paul Daniels' contribution moved all who saw it to horrible tears.
Carla the elephant is currently curled up in a kind of a grey ball. Her trunk is actually stuck up her anus and they're not trying to help her. So we must. I'll give you another one that you can cut in later. I'll just say that. And you can cut it in later. Yeah, go to the elephant, go to somewhere else, all right? And still rolling? Come on, help us get that trunk out.
And so thank Christ for Wolf the Gladiator, who joined not a moment too soon.
Urgent news. Carla has started to ingest her own head. Her dung pump mechanism has blown. There's bloody vegetable gas everywhere. For God's sake, help us pull her trunk out. She needs wolf power, or she will explode in a shower of pulped yams. Please help me and ours get Carla's trunk out the end of her guts.
With that ace burst of Wolf, the WFHCAP appeal was ready for its final phase.
You've heard a great deal about Carla, the poor little elephant in this East German zoo who's suffering horrendously, horribly. Desmond Morris, the great anthropologist, the author of The Naked Ape, who understands more about animals than probably anybody, has written this little poem about Carla. I'd like to read it to you. Aren't we a bunch of fuckwits? An elephant could no more get its trunk up its ass than we could lick our balls.
Well, after that, we're obviously pretty close to a solution. There are 3 points to remember. Firstly, cruelty has not been eliminated. These two goats are going to box each other's heads in next weekend. and there's nothing the law can do about it. On the other hand, you can be too nice. This woman spent her life savings on plastic surgery to make her dog look like Ralph Fiennes.
I think it's a little bit of an improvement on the original.
Well, the way ahead's obviously through compromise. Next month sees the introduction of new regulations for slaughterhouses. How are these going to work?
Oh, yes, well, we kill 400 cows a week, and to redress the balance to some extent, we'll be slaughtering one member of our staff every 6 weeks, approximately.
And that's where he comes in?
Yes, this is it.
Are you happy about this?
Oh, yes, yes.
Thank you so much for coming in, thank you. So whatever hello. So whatever you forget about tonight's programme, remember this. Introduction time. Let's talk about cows. This is the grave of a cow. As you will see, it was killed in unnecessary pain by a man. I think we agree with that, don't we, Carla?
I agree, yes.
If we think it's bad in this country, if we think it's bad in Europe, it's worse in Libya. Take a look at this piece of VT. The men gather round and finish it off with their feet, drag it through the town and leave it quite often to the jackals and dogs. In fact, the end word of this news report from the newsreader's mouth is, wow, look at that dead bastard. That incident itself that we've just seen there, the Libyan cattle slaughter, right or wrong?
Wrong.
That wrong?
Yes, absolutely wrong.
OK, yeah, you can kill the tape.
Oh, yes, please, kill the tape.
Kill the tape.
Hi, this is ┬Ż┬Ż from Baywatch. Please help me get Carla's head out of her guts now before she explodes.
Just imagine how she feels.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, goodness me.
Help.
Goodness. I've just received this. Now. Yvette has managed to get in an hour ago. And she managed to pull Carla's head out. Oh, God.
What does it say?
Her head came out, but it had shrunk. And it was now small and smooth and white.
And so did she put it back in?
No, she's walking around, it says here, with a small, smooth, white head about the size of a man's head. She's got eyes, but she hasn't got any ears. And it looks like one of our helpers, Andrew Dean, got sucked in.
No.
He's breathing through a tube.
Oh, Jesus.
And he's stuck inside.
I think you should get a press release out.
Which paper would print it, do you know?
Well, you put it over AP.
You put it over a P.
You put it over the wire services.
What, you put a wire over a P?
Well, no, this is,
Is it like a distribution P? I phone up a P, and I send it down the wire to the P, and then the P sends it out to all the newspapers.
Yeah.
And thanks very much for your thoughts, Alexandra.
Okay, and,
I'll pass on your good wishes to all concerned, particularly to Andrew. If he's still going.
The late-night streets of Britain, now so full of drugs, not even the dealers know them all.
Have you got any triple sod? Any triple sod?
Triple sod.
Triple sod?
What's that?
Yellow bentines?
I don't know what that is, my friend.
Have you not got any yellow Benteens?
What's yellow Benteens?
I just want something that, makes it go really bluty.
No, the only thing sell out here is Coke, mate.
No, you must have some,
You're telling me what I have and what I don't have?
Are you the Boz?
What's the
Are you a Boz?
What's Boz mean?
I don't want to end up like a, bloody piano dentist.
If you don't want it, you don't have to buy it.
Yeah, but what I don't want my arms to feel like a couple of fortnights in a bad balloon.
My brother, I don't...
Do you know what I mean?
I'm not really bothered what you want your arms to feel like.
I'll tell you what, I'm less interested in giving you 40 quid to end up on a quack candle.
What's a quack candle?
OK, I'll tell you what. I'll give you 30 quid for one Clarky cat.
What's a Clarky can? You're not making sense.
Cat, a Clarky cat.
I don't know what you mean, man.
Are you telling me you definitely got no Clarky cat?
For the 10th time, I don't know what Clarky can means.
No, cat. Clarky
what
cat.
does it mean?
The stuff that you chew.
I don't know it.
You know, the grass stuff that you chew?
I do not know it.
Clarky cat or triple sub?
My friend, please leave us alone.
I'm at a modern drugs party. They're taking Charlie. He's got spliff smoke coming out of his drug end. There's someone over there smoking a crack. This isn't the exception anymore. It's just how people live today. No thanks. I don't use the horse. From Debs to plebs, this decade is not so much the 90s as the ⵃᵉᵃᵗ.
The headlines say it all. Liam's new staircase made out of gear. Drug bankers pulled my wife's head off and puked down the neck hole. And last one on drugs is a queer, yells Portillo. Even our leaders show the strain. Often drugging themselves senseless in public is a cry for help.
So what's the truth about drugs? Time to shatter a few myths. The effects of a heroin overdose are lethal. Yes, in the short term, but there's been absolutely no research into the long-term effects. Drugs destroy families. Well, a disabled, lonely teenager, a blind mother, but a family held together by the father's crack dealing, which he uses to keep them in talking books and dildos. People say alcohol's a drug. It's not a drug, it's a drink. Are 1 in 3 15-year-olds really on drugs? No, we proved it in tests.
To preserve the anonymity of our 15-year-old volunteers, we replaced each of them with 3 5-year-olds, and not one had even heard of drugs, let alone smoked one off. The biggest problem of all is the law. It is legal to carry drugs if you're not actually touching them. These men avoid contact by using helium balloons attached to little drug baskets. It's also legal to buy and sell drugs if you do it through a mandrill. Typically, mandrills work at night, approaching the house of a client with a drug pouch and returning with the money. Mandrills are intelligent and vicious, capable of throwing a 12-stone man over 40 feet. But mandrills have been protected by law ever since Queen Elizabeth I gave birth to a child resembling a mandrill by mistake.
The classic street signs of a nearby drug abuse. But what about this? Remnants of something far worse. A new legal drug from Czechoslovakia called cake. Oh, and luckily the story involves these people. Free the United Kingdom from drugs and British opposition to metabolically bisturbile drugs. Ted Moore reports.
Cake first appeared in Prague last year. News reports showed victims insane with pain. Disturbing images like this and a knowledge of the drug routes in Europe led to the formation of Free the United Kingdom from Drugs, incorporating British opposition to metabolically bisturbile drugs. Their single aim, to enlist the great and good.
I'm Bernard Ingham, and this is a piece of cake.
To warn Britain about cake.
Fucking hell.
Before it was too late.
Hi, this is Bruno Brooks. We all like to party, right? Absolutely. But only the fool would say, yeah, I'll enter the nightmare of cake. And this is it.
This colour that they thought would be a good selling point is put in by using an industrial dye, which in itself is a pollutant, and is causing in Czechoslovakia something called Czech neck. It causes enormous water retention so that the body swells up. The neck becomes about this wide and swells up to engulf the mouth and the nose so that the person who's on that trip dies through not being able to breathe at all.
One young kiddie on cake cried all the water out of his body. Just imagine how his mother felt. It's a fucking disgrace.
Can we lose this thing about the slow crushing of his skull?
No one understood how to get the message over better than this man.
What is cake? Well, it has an active ingredient, which is a dangerous psychoactive compound known as dimesmeric anderson phosphate. It stimulates the part of the brain called Shatner's bassoon, and that's the bit of the brain that deals with time perception. So a second feels like a month. Well, almost sounds like fun. Unless you're the Prague schoolboy who walked out into the street straight in front of a tram. He thought he'd got a month to cross the street.
Do you know they've even tested this stuff on rats? Turn them into bloody space hoppers, for God's sake. Come on.
And if you're sick on this stuff, you can puke your fucking self to death. One girl threw up her own pelvis bone before she snuffed the lid. What a fucking disgrace.
Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? If you want to be part of the summer of death. Thank you for listening to me. Take care. And I really do mean take care.
In part 2, cake gets political. David Amess is MP for Basildon.
How did you become aware of this then?
Tourists.
He is also shocked.
Good God.
And appalled.
Basildon puke plates.
Yeah, the Basildon reference actually is nothing to do with Basildon the place. It was a rhyming slang which was Basildon Bond, and it was Basildon
the
Bond.
Paper, right,
yeah, Basildon
right.
Bond,
Oh, well then.
as in Bond, you know, getting out of your head.
And is it right for man to take drugs through an animal?
We've picked up an advert on a Tokyo television cable channel which shows somebody taking drugs through, well, it's a device in order to take drugs through a dog. If you can roll that tape now.
過去の煙であなたの肺はむせ返っていませんか？そんなあなたに素晴らしい朗報です。カナブリス。あなたの犬が吸うタバコでニコチンハイになる装置。カナブリス。交換器を使い犬が吸い込んだ物質を人間の血液に流れ込ませるのです。もちろんあなたは安全。しかもズドンと効きます。僕はカナブリス愛用してます。特にドッグパファー。カナブリス、何でも有効。タバコ、ヘロイン、そしてクラック。
Let's crystallise it, right? Here we go. Right or wrong?
For tobacco, wrong.
Right. For crack?
For wrong.
For heroin?
Wrong.
Awaiting transmission. Is drug dealing now completely out of control?
I've got 30 quid.
Last time I came here, a friend of mine just got triple jacked over the steeple hammer and Jessup.
It's not wood, right?
This is not wood, man. He got a negative bluety with a crack candle. And he ended up on the Jessup.
Do you think I want to hear any of that now?
Drug use among children has for many in education and with obvious alarm to both parents on the increase almost yearly. But the approach in schools has changed considerably since the late 70s heyday of Drumlake School in Hampshire.
We take students from age 8 to 18, and the whole ethos of the school is to allow the children to discover their own level of drug intake. and to develop their own sense of maturity. We do have one or two problems occasionally with extortionate prices being demanded, and once the price rises above, for instance, £15 for a quarter ounce of Moroccan hashish, then we would put a control on that price, and we would then introduce our own supplies into the system. Usually by about age 15 or 16, they're injecting themselves with heroin. Morning. And by the time they're 17 or 18, they're generally rather bored with it. The one rule that we do insist on, by the way, is that all drugs, especially the hard drugs, are of medical quality. How's it going?
Oh, I've got a bit of a problem.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, I'm running out of money and I'm not going to have enough to buy any drugs or anything.
Oh, dear.
I thought you could help.
I mean, I can't start telling you how to spend your money and how to save it, can I? It's your problem. And you just walk in here and expect me to sort this out for you just like that? Do you know Mr. Phillips?
Yeah, he's a geography teacher.
Yes. You know his wife died a couple of months ago, don't you? Well, he's been very lonely. He'd be very depressed. Why don't you have a word with him? Go and see him. Explain your problem, and he'll explain his problem to you. When the children have gone away on holiday and the staff have gone home, I've got the place to myself. I'd rather enjoy turning up some loud rock music and reliving the old days go on a 3-day binge, something like that. But it doesn't happen very often these days.
Well, Drumlake may have worked, but that doesn't stop it being absolute guff. What about the modern approach? Austin Tasseltine broke into a playground and started bothering the children.
Everybody you'll see in the first 10 seconds of this report is an addict. You're an addict. You are. Addicts. Addict. Oi, you're an addict. You're an addict. Addicts. All addicted to the cure for the drugs problem.
Drugs need you.
And here at Thaxted School, they can score pure cure.
If you take the U out of drugs, what have you got? Drugs. Ever heard anyone get addicted to drugs? People say cocaine is fun.
First, an information rush. Kids see what comes out when a cokehead blows its nose.
How funny is that?
Often on a napkin from a knob's restaurant.
That man is lying on his back thinking, where in shitting crikey is my nose? It's in a jar, mate.
I feel it's much better to scare the shit out of a kid now than to watch it become a heroin addict when it becomes bunged up with its own shit and can never shit again through taking bad shit. I'm being frank to shock here.
Webb is invited to the school under a new scheme called School's Heightened Aversion Drug Therapy. Chat.
Well, we live in very drugged-off times. I've seen mothers chasing children down the street who's to say they're not going to inject them with drugs once they catch them.
This is the school addict.
Hi. Hi. I'm Mark, the school drug addict.
When they first meet Mark, he's on a prescription speedball and shows them the upside of high. 4 days later, he's a frozen chicken. The kids expect more fun, but instead get the bum side of clucking.
Shiny.
Kid upon infant scores a hit made not of drug, but terror. The system is called
Pre-toxic aversion.
developed in, that is, nicked from,
America.
the black classroom. Children are made to sit for an hour in front of a drug paraphernalium while listening to some extremely monged music. This child receives a high-impact incident in which the addict has gone shocking.
The addict is persuaded to wear a horse's head because sometimes drugs are so new, we can only guess at what the effects would be. What you've got to do is frighten a child. Not pussyfoot around, give it a stark image. I'm talking about something like Dennis Potter in The Blue Velvet.
Serious cases need a family fix. ⁱᵉᵃ has been identified as a disaster waiting to happen.
Unless you take action now, your daughter will be selling her kids in order to shove crack into any available orifice in her body.
ᵍェ·ᵉ's parents agree to leave home for 3 days, while ᵍェ·ᵉ is told a systematic fib.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you.
The child is informed her parents are dead.
They died of a drugs overdose.
I want you to know that when you're actually there is something about this that is really quite shocking. As is the staged funeral, with its uncompromising memorial to ᵍェ·ᵉ's parents.
With one face, they presented to the world an appearance of respectability. But with the other, they said, oh, goody, let's pump ourselves full of magic monkey juice and take a trip to Spaceland. Because we'd rather do that than spend another minute with that poor sod. Would you all please stand?
It's probably about now that ᵍェ·ᵉ will vow never to take a single drug, not even a stomach tablet. 2 days later, ᵍェ·ᵉ and her parents are reunited. It gets tricky.
It has been very hard for ᵍェ·ᵉ, hasn't it, darling? But we feel that if it comes down to a choice between her being a little bit grumpy for a while or being off her mash on ecstasy pipes, then we know which we'd prefer.
And the bit where the man turned into the horse, that was quite good, wasn't it?
It's hard to tell whether this school will be a hit or a hash. But then what do I know? I've only taken ecstasy once, and I certainly didn't swallow it. Only time can tell. And if you think about it, time's a bit of a drug, too.
If time's a drug, then Big Ben is a huge needle injecting it into the sky. But this is cake, the new killer drug from Prague.
Last half, we heard about cake, and importantly, its dangers.
13 teenagers were trampled to death in a cow field at midnight taking this stuff.
And more importantly, that it's a made-up drug.
Cake is a made-up drug. It's not made from plants. It's made from chemicals by sick bastards.
But for maximum reach, cake needed an actively political kick in the pills. And that's what it got from MP David Amess, MP.
You've heard what Bernard Manning said. Cake is a bisterbile cranabolic amphetamide, which is a made-up psychoactive chemical. It comes from Prague, with its own culture of boom raves, where kids wolf down vast quantities of this. Big to contain trip nutrients. Yellow purely as a fashion thing.
They all fall on it like crazed animals, scoff the lot, and then lie around waiting for a DJ to play music which sounds like this.
Now, to the speeded up brain of a user, that sound lasts for 4 hours and sounds like this. Is it any wonder users frequently complain of monumental depression?
Several people have actually been brained by saucepans thrown out of tower blocks used to make this kind of cake.
Look at that. 100 grand in the pocket of the filth that sells it. A big yellow death bullet in the head of some poor user, or custard gannet, as the dealers call them. I'm off to do what I can. And if you don't mind, I'll leave this with you. I don't want to look at it for another moment.
What fucked and bombed needed more than anything was the illegalisation of cake.
And look, have we asked anything about this in Parliament? I mean,
no.
We haven't.
No, I mean, that would be ideal to get something
done. I'll certainly raise a question.
That now became a very real possibility. With the hell of cake still ringing in his ears, Amess went back to his lair and drafted a question for the Home Office. The very next question time saw health ministers pledging to fight cake.
And in the meantime, the message for the kids is loud and clear.
Help fucked and bombed eliminate this evil.
Use your cheese box and say, no, never.
So please, help us at fucked.
And bombed.
Remember, cake is a made-up drug and has many disguises.
I'm just reading here the names of this fucking loony stuff. So, if someone offers you cake, they might call it loony toad quack.
Russell Dust. Chronic Basildon Donuts.
Joss Ackland's spunky backpack.
Bromicide.
Ponce on the Heath.
Cool Thwacks and Charlie.
Argue Barmies.
Or Hattie Jake's pretentious cheese wog. Chuck it back in the face and tell him to fuck off.
Well, that's all very well, but what about this? The Skag. I've been using this for about 6 years. I'm completely dependent. Terrified of vomiting my daily fix. Terrified of vomiting.
Could so easily have been like that for me, but luckily the amount of heroin I use is harmless. I inject about once a month on a purely recreational basis. Fine. But what about other people, less stable, less educated, less middle class than me? Builders, or blacks, for example. If you're one of those, my advice to you is leave well alone. Good luck. To say jazz man is to say the man who is totally Babylon Zoo. He's the chung wit, the biff buff, and the puff pastry hangman. Now, let's get this straight. He does everything. You sing all the notes, right?
Correct.
Have you actually sung them all?
Oh, definitely. I mean, really? the whole album, my record.
No, but I mean, all the notes, you know, all the notes there are. I mean, there's A to G, isn't there?
Oh, completely. I think it's quite difficult to actually work out what note you are singing.
But you've never sung like an H?
Probably not. No, I wouldn't have thought so.
And if that is the case, then what is your song? Is that like an audible sound, or is it just like a little bubble of oxygen?
I think it could become a figment of people's imagination.
So let's look at this song. You write the lyrics. Who does the words?
I do it myself.
You as well?
Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever write a spherical song?
I don't know, really.
Has Michael Nyman?
I think he's getting close.
As he gets older, or in his early work?
Definitely, as he gets older.
Got to ask you a question. Are you a genius?
I'd say I will become a genius.
And maybe, just maybe, you were born with a few more genes than the rest of us.
Maybe.
Hello, I'm Paul Trox.
And I'm Eve Pollard.
We're looking tonight at the appalling hazards of
irresponsible weapons research. Terrible cases have arisen in Siberia, where weapon chemicals are disrupting embryo organ precursor cells in pregnant women. Organ precursor cells are the starting points for every different part of the body, but they can be chemically switched so they can all make the same part. Our undercover crew was shown this tragic case. A woman had given birth to a 2-foot testicle. The gland was alive when we saw it and being kept warm in a cot. With no mouth, the doctors knew it could not feed, and they were convinced it could feel pain. We were told it would live for just 2, perhaps 3 more days, all the time in chronic pain.
On a scale, say, 1 to 100%, what percentage bad science is that?
Oh, 100%.
Tonight on Brasseye, has science gone too far? Tonight, science in the dock.
Science, you are accused of going too far, of befouling, pollutement, and the intoxication of men's minds.
Science has increased our understanding of suffering, but has it really helped? This recent experiment into quadriplegia produced results that disturb.
We collected together a group of disabled people and placed various household objects around, some with quite tempting aromas. For example, we placed a cup of Bovril in front of one of them. What we found was that they would lunge secretly for the Bovril and quaff it. I think that they're not disabled at all. I think they're just incredibly lazy people.
Innocent or guilty? Is it right for scientists to play with time?
You got two mice to give birth to a second.
When I looked over, the clock on the wall was... well, it was throwing up.
There was a wonderful blue light everywhere. Everybody noticed it. And a sensation like a yawn going backwards inside you.
In June this year, the same men isolated and blew up a fortnight.
And I turned around and whack, I was 4 miles down the road, lying on my face next to a little tree that I hadn't been meant to be next to for about 2 weeks.
But does science take responsibility?
Anything that went on in that fortnight or went on out of it, depending on how you look at it, was that fortnight's fault, not ours. It was simply a bad fortnight.
Innocent or guilty? So is it any wonder people are afraid of technology?
Technology!
And when science is on sale, it may be helping us, but what about our children?
Hi, I'm Accelerator Jen Gold, and I'd like to tell you about the most effective weight loss system in pregnancy. The figure apocalypse that is pregnancy is a female tragedy that has at last been conquered by one man, Dr. Balb Kubraks. Balb.
That's right. Look at this little guy. He's using my gynesium womb implant to exercise so his mom loses weight.
Activity rate is maintained with chemical stimulants and mechanical prods.
He can be made to flex up to 30 times a second.
But gynesium babies are often born snapped.
It is the fetal exerciser that helps Junior.
Tonight, science is on trial. Will it be found innocent or guilty? Innocent or guilty?
Innocent or guilty? Innocent or guilty?
Look, leave me alone. I'm trying to work it out, all right?
Hello, I'm Tanya Bry, and I'm here to tell you about a new space-saving farm idea. Look at this typical farm. Uses a lot of land, doesn't it? Now look at this. It's a vertical tube farm capable of growing exactly the same amount as a 300-acre farm, but on less than 1 square meter of land. How? By growing crops and vegetables vertically, up to 1 mile into the air rather than wastefully taking up more and more land. As available land space is swallowed up, simple, effective ideas like this are just what we need. Of course, some people say it would be vulnerable in a strong wind, but for goodness sake, who's to say there's going to be a strong wind? Vertical farms, good science at work.
2 weeks ago, we uncovered a story of grotesque suffering at the hands of medical science. Ted Moore went in search of those hands, determined to smash their bones out with a little girder.
Loser Street. Look at all the feckless dregs. In this report, you'll see them scream and hear unpleasant remarks from their persecutors.
People up. Back off. You preyed on losers here.
Our London alley, a body, looks dead, but it isn't. It just wishes it was.
I took as many painkillers as I possibly could, but in the end it was actually better to fight pain with pain.
I tried to kill myself with a lawnmower.
What happened to these people sounds like something from the X-Files.
I was paid £500 to have a limb grafted on my body.
Only this is real and touches you in a way that voguish fiction wouldn't begin to understand. These aren't isolated cases. In the last year, numbers rose dramatically. Conservative estimates said 1,500. It works like this. You lose your money, you reply to one of these ads, and are persuaded to sell your body to grow extra organs cheaply for transplant clinics.
The deal that I specifically struck was to grow 150 lips on my chest.
For
£6 a lip.
They'll even do you a deal on the phone.
I'm out of wampum. I spazzed it all on a horse.
I was offered 500 quid to grow a stomach full of shoulders. It could have been worse. When city analyst ⁱᵒᵉᵃᵗ hit the skids, she agreed to earn just £600 for a year of agony growing balls on her back.
It's like someone sticking a sabre into you and screwing it around day and night for 6 months.
Fuck me. The organs are then harvested and sold on for huge profit. Who's behind this wretched usury? Look no further than surgeons by royal appointment, Zeus Spofford and Paul Gumster, at London's top whack quack shack, the Bounty Clinic. These breadheads don't give a flying cack about the pain they cause. So how would they respond to a foot-in-the-door hole button stepping?
Why have you messed these people up? You preyed on losers here. Dr. Spofford, you're preying on losers. What?
Yes, the personal organizer revealed a chain of rich clients for organs and limbs. Donald Trump has received over 7 feet of new tongue. Even Saddam Hussein has an access. He's obsessed with having white ladies' wrists. We also discovered this man is incubating over 700 livers. Scenting blood, we set up surveillance on their office and waited till they returned.
I've just monkeyed my way up the back of the building, and I'm gonna smash my way through the window.
Come back here, you fucking louse! You've got no right to be here, I've got a question for you. What are you going to do about the people whose lives you pulled apart? What are you going to say to them? You're on camera. There's a camera here and one here.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
What's your excuse? Was it just the money? Was it just the money? Was it just the money?
Come on.
You're not going to get away with this.
Oh, yeah.
It's not cool to be weird. Oh. You won't get away with this.
Oh, grow up.
You're just being weird.
Go on.
Ah!
The creeps may have scarpered, but they forgot the golden rule. If you're gonna jerk with Brasseye, don't leave your Ponzi drop-top roller skate parked outside. What's for pudding? Disturbing developments in embryo research.
Let's just have a look at this, right? Normal-looking crab, pregnant with a human fetus.
What is the point of doing that? What is the argument for it?
I don't know. It's to do with in vitro fertilization or how you can cultivate fetuses
See,
outside the womb because a crab has a certain circulatory system that can feed it.
Yeah, but the other thing is so much of the improvements in modern society have been brought about by experiments on animals. The health is so much better. That is outrageous. Of course it is. No, indefensible.
I mean, we're saying, you know, right or wrong for that?
No, wrong for that.
When we actually asked the scientist who was responsible for that, I mean, I said, you know, why are you doing that? And his reaction was pretty much kind of, and what do you do when somebody does that?
I know.
I mean, you know, and that's the way people are.
I know.
Hello, I'm Tanya Breyer. This time, I'm afraid, with some unpleasant truths. Look at the sky. Doesn't look like it's full of problems, does it? But I've worked in weather and I know that it is. I'm not talking about ozone here, I'm talking about clouds, because cloud damage is dramatically on the increase. Due to industrial ultraviolet carbons, true clouds are being replaced by mutant clouds, like Cirrus Sirius, Nimbus, and Altosyphilis. More and more, these are turning upside down and injecting their rain upwards into space. Needless to say, a Nigerian farmer can't exactly go up there and get it back, can he? Tragically, if the water does fall downwards, it can turn into triple water, which separates it into gases as it lands, blasting trees out of the ground and killing monkeys. Perhaps the most disturbing effect is the disruption of rivers. This is footage of the river Euphrates flowing backwards. It looks like it's flowing forwards, but only because we've reversed the film. Heavy water deeply confuses river flow systems. Just last month, 2 rivers got completely lost and were found wandering uselessly about the southern oceans. Sadly, bad clouds equals bad science.
So how far has the blight of bad science spread? According to the latest scandal, even as far as science classics like the Apollo moon landing. ⁱ Complete reports from across the big pond they call the Atlantic Ocean.
It's 1969 and the world watches 3 heroes alone in space. Or was it 4? Who is the yelper on this boosted sound tape? The ⁉ᵝᵗ whimper was originally explained as atmospheric retching, but shocking new evidence suggests the sound was made by this man, Peace Cap Johnson, a sub-mental who died last week at the asylum where he lived for the last 27 years. It's claimed a box of letters found under his bed, many from Buzz Aldrin, prove that Johnson was the 4th man on 11. From these guys right now, it's no Apollo, but an ex-operative defied NASA to tell us ⁱ
Johnson, who was codenamed Sleeping Beauty, was a man of very low intelligence. He never really understood what was going on.
Johnson's job was to act as onboard sex receptacle.
Sleeping Beauty was trained to present his posterior to a hole in the locker whenever the crew members required relief.
Since the early days, distorted sex drive in orbit has been a sticky problem.
On board Gemini, John Young raped and ate alive 2 experimental monkeys.
Experiments with the rear end of horses failed. Women were deemed too silly for space. So what kind of man would agree to be the ass in NASA?
He had to be pretty much a 0-watt bulb. We stopped looking when we found him winning the stupidest boy in the Dane County Fair for a 3rd year running.
The ⁉ᵝᵗ whimper is Johnson's giant squeak for mankind at the hands of a frustrated Collins.
He took out his frustration on Johnson. And it's what psychiatrists would call a bully ramming.
By contrast, Aldrin used Johnson gently, and they forged a bond that saved Johnson's life.
Lose beauty, repeat, lose beauty.
When Houston required Johnson to be ejected into space, Aldrin refused.
11, it is imperative beauty is lost. I repeat, Houston, you can't do that.
Once down, Johnson was whisked to a shut-up-and-eat home, where his daffy moon talk seemed like any other booby babble.
I hope Buzz come back and clean my dirty with his soapy fish.
The astronauts are now in hiding and will only issue statements through an animal.
But Aldrin's letters make that testimony irrelevant. They abound with muted references to sex acts written in a plaintive tone that suggests a still present yearning. This is ⁱ Complete for ⁱ Brasseye on the new buzz about Buzz, the bum buzzard. Did he fly in a rocket or fly up a socket?
Hello, Tamara Beckwith here. At last with some good science. This is a light-saving brick. Inside the brick, there are millions of tiny boxes mirrored on the inside. During the day, light goes into each tiny mirror box and is trapped, where it remains bouncing around inside. When it goes dark, a good example of this is night, turning this knob removes the tops of the boxes and the light leaps out. The light-saving brick. It saves light.
What can be done to keep bad science at bay? All too often it's left to the little people. ⁱ reports.
The little people really don't come much littler than this. They're called ⁱᵝᵗ, and they've launched this campaign against the global evil of heavy electricity.
Hello, I'm Richard Bryars. I want to tell you about ⁱᵝᵗ and heavy electricity. ⁱᵝᵗ is the global consortium for a first-world initiative on scientific practice. Self-explanatory, really. Heavy electricity, now that's a bit trickier. It's caused by particle accelerators sending huge jolts of power into domestic power lines. These knock the electricity back into its wild state, which is much heavier due to flattened electrons. The devastating result is that huge masses of heavy electricity start randomly falling out of wires and crashing onto anything below. This gives you some idea. Basically, it's like being hit by a ton of invisible lead soup. In the Sri Lankan village of ᵒᵱᵱ, inhabitants are suffering heavy electricity attacks even as I speak. Can we stand around and eat pies while they're being flattened like flies, swatted by the tail of a mad, invisible horse? Of course not. You, me, and ⵉᵒᵉ must contact the Sri Lankan embassy now and let them know just how shoddy this all is. If you're in any doubt, just shut your eyes and imagine a child you know being hit on the head by a ton of invisible lead soup.
What's invisible lead soup?
Non-scientific contributors were sure to check all the facts
Wobbly matter, is that what they call it?
before ramming home the dreadful urgency.
Heavy electricity is regularly flattening cattle in Sri Lanka. Afterwards, the poor beasts look like giant fur-covered slugs thrashing about on their backs and made of what scientists call wobbly matter. I won't go into it here, but basically it's caused by sodomized electrons which rush to the cow's head end. Now, just apply that to a young girl human. Well, it's an appalling thought, isn't it? Geeta is 15 years old, and now because of heavy electricity, she's only 8 inches tall. Now, just imagine that. She can't speak, but she must feel quite dreadful. 15 years old, and only, what, this tall.
Sometimes pure physical aggression was the only way.
Let me show you what's going on. Here is ᵒᵱᵱ, villages and animals, many small children. Think how soft they are. No exoskeleton, no horny old skin like the village elders. And here is the particle accelerator, firing out huge irresponsible jolts of power. The heavy electricity can wreak its ghastly havoc at any minute. Raining down tons of invisible lead soup, but lead soup that can bounce destructively around like a hellish Powerball. So, more accurately, it's a cross between a ton of lead soup and a Powerball, smashing animals, for example. Smashing people. That could be your mother. All because these bloody idiots aren't doing their job properly. So what's to be done? Write to the Sri Lankan embassy, expressing your acute displeasure. Ask them how they'd feel having their brain mashed by invisible lead soup. All you have to do is just take a pen and sign it. Yours sincerely, Stephen Burkoff.
Explaining the problem is one thing. Knowing what to do is quite another. Luckily, ⵉᵒᵉ had expert advice.
Richard Branson has sent out these plugs with his beaming face on them that are being used locally, which can help to a degree. And there's a man with this very huge hammer who's banging away on the pipes, trying to relieve some of the pressure going out on the grid.
It's called percussive counter-induction, and he's already held back a massive wall of heavy electricity for about an hour, allowing some children and 6 pigs to escape. You could do that, for God's sake. The squash people of ᵒᵱᵱ are more important than the inconvenience of you banging a hammer for a couple of days over in Sri Lanka.
Public broadcasts always help.
We're doing this very special video about heavy electricity.
And with backing from shock jock Caesar the Geezer, failure for ⵉᵒᵉ looked absolutely impossible.
Hello, my name is Caesar. The sad truth about heavy electricity is that people in power and in government are too afraid to rock the boat when it comes to helping people and helping certain situations. I say to that, bollocks. It's about time somebody got off their fat arse and did something about it. Do you know, they actually say to me that there is no such thing as heavy electricity, that electricity couldn't possibly fall out of wires. What a load of old crap. And what is even more annoying is that they say that ⵉᵒᵉ is a made-up name. It's a fabulous organisation. Do you realise that if heavy electricity falls from these headphones, not only would it blow my head off, but it would cut me completely in half? If a caller calls me on my show and then suddenly they're on the phone 1 minute and then they're affected by heavy electricity, they could be blown 100 feet away. That is the dangers of heavy electricity. If you are a member of Parliament or somebody in a powerful organisation and you're listening to me right now, let me say this to you. I have a lot of television shows, a lot of radio shows, and a big audience. Do something about it. Otherwise, I'll do something about it.
Sadly, ⵉᵉᵃ has yet to receive a single reply from the Sri Lankan embassy.
So what is the verdict on science?
Please stand. What is the verdict?
I'm afraid there is no verdict because all the jury have died of pollution.
Oh, once happy bauble, twisting on the bliss twig of ignoramy, you were suddenly plunged into the brain-tanglia of rude math, and with what shocking results? Has the Earth been reduced to an odious space gland? Is this what we've done to ourselves? Good Christ, I hope not.
Good night.
Jenny Powell here with an urgent ⵉᵃ PS. Great Britain could be struck by heavy electricity too. Top scientists have just proved that 6 flattened cars and 2 stunted children were caused by a fall of heavy electricity in Cumbria last year. This also pushed the peak of the big mountain ⁱᵉ 25 metres below sea level. Now, scientists calculate that a massive outburst of heavy electricity could just push the British Isles totally under the water. I should say the chances are negligible, about 20 to 1, but the point remains. If this were to happen, and this is a big if, then it's conceivable that the north of the country will tip downwards like a heavy land rock, catapulting the southeast towards Finland. So please, let our government know that heavy electricity will not be tolerated here or anywhere else.
Cut. That's it. Perfect.
If this were really happening, what would you think?
Perhaps you wouldn't be that surprised. Increasingly, it seems the bone around our brains is not the skull, but the pelvis. Just look at any of today's papers. Very sexy beams Clark after urinating on London from a helicopter. Cook dragged from Serpentine with swan stuffed in anus. Bono offers sex to anyone from the former Yugoslavia. That's the U2 lead singer Bono Vox. And even the local press, the Portsmouth Herald, again, no arrest for man dressed as glands. We are permissive, yet confused. It's quite acceptable for Peter Sissons to receive oral sex during disaster reports on the 9 o'clock news. And yet on the Isle of Man, nudity is still considered so shocking, it's illegal for babies to be born naked. Is a baby born today a baby born into a world in sex crisis? Sex is a sumptuous glam babe in a hall of donkeys, or a sordid little incubus that looks like your granny. It's a strong feelings kidney, whichever way you slice it. Now, where's Sophie Valve? There she is. Sophie's got a dreadful story. She lost both her parents. They were killed on a picnic. Can you tell us what happened?
A frozen dog fell from a plane and killed them while they were making sex.
Were they dead when you saw them?
Alive.
Oh, come off it. You twit. They'd be dead, completely smashed up, like tongues under a hammer. Do you think this will give you psychosexual problems in later life? Must have messed up your brain. And I'm afraid we will have to see that little girl being upset in a rather more sustained way later on in tonight's deeply disturbing broadgram. Let me put it this way. It's not likely to happen, but just say I attacked you now, right? Would you beat me off?
Yes, but no more than that.
God, well, how long would you beat me off for?
As long as it took.
Really, all the way?
Yeah, as long as it took.
And would you beat me off even if people were looking?
Well, I would hope that they'd
we
join
were in
in
a
and
studio.
help me.
Right, so would I.
That's what I would want
Jimmy,
society
what if somebody
to
else came in through the door and started attacking you as well? Would you beat us both off?
It'd be hard to work, but I'd have a go,
And if you get to the point where a whole room full of men is attacking you, you would try and beat them all off and
I'd have to
all
somehow.
help. You'd have,
and in that case...
Because you would, I mean, yeah.
I'm not quite sure how. I think I'd be more likely
all
to run
hands
like
to the
hell.
pumps. But if you're in a corner, you would beat them off.
I'd have to, of course.
Yes, OK. And who'd pay for the dry cleaning afterwards?
Oh, paying's the least of it.
Why? Hey, who says AIDS guys are too puny to do tough stuff? This guy's got AIDS, and he's about to beat me in an arm wrestling. Oh, well done. Oh, gosh. Well done, yeah. Yeah. Now, a friend was unlucky enough to catch his virus from a blood transfusion, something he had no control over.
I caught it from my boyfriend.
Your boyfriend?
From my partner, yeah.
So you've got bad AIDS, not good AIDS? You got bad AIDS? Well, you caught it through your own fault. It's a drug abuse or a homosexual...
Just a minute. Just a minute.
Well, good AIDS is something innocent. This is what this ribbon's about. I support somebody who's caught good AIDS because they caught the virus through no fault of their own. Exactly. So what have you done with the big gay plague? What have you done to stop people catching it?
Well, personally, I've used condoms.
No, I mean here and now, like everyone else in this audience, I'm thinking, what about us? What about me now? What have you done to stop us catching it? What if a madman broke in here with a machine gun and shot you to pieces? Anyone here yawning would get your blood in their mouth. Yes.
Ridiculous.
You shouldn't have come in. You've got bad AIDS. You shouldn't have come in. Right? Can we have him removed during the next break? Now, you may remember another scandal involving a gay man last March. Captain ⁉ᵉᵃᵗ of the HMS Watford was all over the public press. ᵉᵉ went behind the story.
Listen.
Get away from me! Get away from me!
The boat, the captain, and the He's a Puff headlines. The scandal followed video evidence of Captain ⁉ᵉᵃᵗ indulging in an odd practice with a gun.
First thing I think is he's going to shoot the girl I've been looking at. Started with, so he takes a gun, sticks in his gob. That's sucking it, you know. You know, like nurse, like puts the baby's winky in her mouth to make it go quiet, like that.
Naval denial was swift.
Captain ⁉ᵗ was on deck. He noticed his gun was dirty, and he cleaned it.
For a while, that was it. Nothing was doing.
Until we rooted out startlingly new evidence from this man, Ben Fetch. For a year, he served under Captain ⁉ᵗ.
A lot of the onboard drill were done in the nude, or sometimes just with jock straps. And he used to play loud music while we were doing it. Yeah, he made me shoot fire drill on his camera. You know, I was quite chuffed being a cameraman and all that. And strange thing, but you kind of got used to it after a while. I used to go to his office, report to his office, and in the nude just kind of stand there like, and he'd be at his desk writing notes and whatnot, and he'd be humming little tunes to himself, and it's a bit weird.
Dress the penis!
The worst thing was first aid drill. We used to have to dress wounds, but it was always dressing penises, penis wounds.
The MOD. What will they say now? I'm going inside like a ferret with a tape. What did ⁱᵒᵉ make about devastating new shots?
It is absolutely important for every man on board to be able to dress a penis wound. 93% of wounds sustained in naval battle are, in fact, to the penis.
I want you to take a look at this. What is the point of that pelvic marching?
Two men marching like that present a much smaller target than two men marching like that.
Bruges often insisted that on man overboard drill, he was the one thrown overboard, naked.
One cannot be ashamed of what one's pulling out of the water. And if it is a nude man thrashing around, gasping for his life, one must not shrink from that task because one is abashed about his nudity.
But 2 months ago, ⵉᵱᵗ was fired when, on the first day of his transfer to HMS ᵒᵗ, he reported for lifeboat duty stark naked.
Force of habit, I suppose, isn't it? So that was me done. Court-martial in the slammer, you know.
On Watford, nakedness was applicable. But on ┬Ģ, everyone was dressed, apart from ┬ᵗ, who was stark naked and seemed to be indulging in some fit of sort of anarchic clotheslessness, which cannot be tolerated.
┬ᵗ is now unemployed, a victim of the gay boat and of Captain Bruges, who testified against him.
He was the one who said I'd spent all my time taking my clothes off and whatnot, and he gave evidence against me, and he was the one who told me to do it in the first place.
No explanation was given by the Navy or the MOD, but 4 days ago, Bruges was on shore leave, and I went on a nab.
Captain Bruges! Why are you being gay with your men? What? We saw you gobbling a gun like a man's cock. Ah! Get him!
You made a point that you say ⵉᵱᵗ was dangerously gay.
Yes, he's totally gay. ┬ᵗ is as gay as a window.
What's wrong with being gay?
Homosexuals can't swim. They attract enemy radar. They attract sharks. They insist on being placed at the captain's table. They get up late. They nudge people whilst they're shooting. They muck about. Imagine the fear of knowing you have a gay man on board a boat. When you retire at night, you think to yourself, God, will I wake up and find everybody dead?
Quite.
You can't run a ship like that.
No. So there is a good reason, after all. Could have saved us all a lot of fuss if they'd told us that in the first place. Still, wouldn't have made such a good story. And maybe that's the point.
Next on the Feldspoon, sex and fantasy.
The doorbell rings and I go to answer it, and Alan is wearing police uniform, and he says, could you come in? He shows me his ID, checks who I am, and says that he has some very bad news for me. So I ask him into the hallway, and he says that my daughter, our daughter, has died in a car crash. And I become very upset, and we have sex.
And a Zeitgeist special with Peter Stringfellow.
Peter Stringfellow is his name, but is it only a name? Peter Stringfellow, is it only a name?
No.
But you do have a name.
Yes, I do have a name, and people...
you would never deny
associate
that, would you?
No, not at all.
Let's talk about your club. What's it called?
Stringfellows.
OK, but essentially, we're talking about your club. It's called...
Stringfellows.
Welcome back and shut up. New media plans for Sunday Sports' David Sullivan.
You've got a cable TV channel, haven't you?
No, I've got a licence for little adult channel, which is tiny.
What, a channel for little adults?
Yes.
And Ted Moll reviews sex in the media. This is Belgium's most popular show. It features a man on a penis trike crashing round a playpen. And in this country next year, a nightly 4-hour show will feature a man looking at pictures of women and saying which ones he'd hump.
No. Yes. Yes.
Welcome back. Now, sex and children. Stop right there, you might think, but don't say it. Because to hear the word stop is, for many, the biggest turn-on of all. Now, we have Judy Luton in the audience here. Judy, there you are. Righto, Judy. Now, just tell us what happened to you.
When I was 9,
Yeah.
I was abused by my uncle.
Sexually abused. Do you remember what he was like, your uncle? Was he a handsome man? Just look at me. Just look at me. Take it easy, OK? Just look at me. Right. Now, was he as handsome as me? Just for example.
No way.
Not quite. Stay looking at me. Just do that again. God. 12. If you fall over in the snow, do you make a couple of bumps? Probably do, don't you? Some adult channel. It is as easy. It's as easy as that, as that, for something to go wrong in a family. We had someone else here with a similar kind of problem. Who was it? Yeah, what happened to you?
My father abused me repeatedly between the ages of 4 and 16.
But it hasn't happened a lot recently?
No.
Good. Now, from abuse to self-abuse, something which has been disrupting the senatorial elections in the United States. Austin Tasseltine reports.
This was the moment 3 days ago when Senator Dale Lee Agsby plunged his campaign into crisis with an unprecedented outburst on live television.
No pride. Pride.
No one quite believed what they'd seen.
He's talking in the middle of the rally, he just gets out his dick, man.
To extract his genitalia at a rally and manipulate them to issue.
Several cords of reproductive mucus were expelled rhythmically into the crowd.
And a great big gob of this stuff went out in the audience somewhere.
It does indeed look like an impulsive act of public self-abuse. Senator Agsby seems to unsheath a length of skin-clad tube. His anatomy is broken cloth there, and he staggers around, vigorously ransacking his dignity, until finally he releases several arcs of liquid silk from the fleshy nozzle of his fork. But for 2 days, the besieged Agsby camp would only say the senator was unwell.
952 KZU.
For the mischief makers, it's been a gift on a plate.
What's he gonna do? Walk in Dawngrass? Dawngrass. Okay. I came first in the slimery.
Can't believe you did that.
And for the entrepreneurs, a bonus bonanza boom bomb benefit bowling alley.
Whacked out meatball with zipper juice. It's a big pink stick with a lot of cream kind of juking out the top. And you can wash it all down with a cup of Jew coffee.
Derisive and derisory, yes, but Agsby was not without approbators.
He has thrust aside the curtain and had admitted politics is just spewing jism in public. But, you know, do we listen? No, we just weep like teased vaginas.
Midday, and a beleaguered Agsby makes a break for it and is clearly seen in the grip of an aggressive seizure.
For Agsby's mainly female family man supporters, the time had clearly come to wake up and smell some unpleasantly milky tea.
So why would Agsby blow it on a public debasement, albeit a pleasurable one?
The moment he turned, I knew. It's the way he always does it. It's the hunch of the shoulder, and then I knew he was going to get his dick out. He was always this way, and it's a wonder to me that it hasn't happened before now. One time he jerked off in my dog's face, and she was very, very upset.
But in a sensational announcement yesterday, Agsby claimed he'd not been pounding his parson.
I have for many years suffered secretly from the painful effects of prostatitis congenita, a rare blood disorder which causes sudden involuntary erective pressure.
The senator explained he'd sneezed into his hand just before speaking and then suffered a massive attack of congenita.
I tried repeatedly to return the organ with my fist. with the effect that the nasal mucus flew across the room and hit a few people, as you saw. I saw you.
With the sound of that hullabaloo still ringing in its ears, I have a question. Would there really have been all this fuss if Agsby had been a woman? I somehow doubt it, don't you?
Austin Tasseltine. Now, part your belief curtains for a final word on the matter from Peter Tatchell. So what's next?
So what's next?
Yeah, what do you reckon? I mean, what's going to be the next issue, and will it be for the next election?
I think undoubtedly outrage will make an intervention at the time of the next general election.
Are you going to...
I think we'll be thinking about doing what we can to put pressure on various people in authority.
Yeah, but man, you know, I mean, if that was on the agenda, I mean, the frog wouldn't come out of the box, would he?
The frog certainly would come out of the box.
Well,
if 2 cabinet ministers came out,
Howard,
that would certainly make a very, very big impact.
But you say Labour would then, 2 of them would come out as well, probably, wouldn't they?
Well,
they're following suit like, you know, kids playing Snap.
Well, I think, you know, the problem is everybody's too scared to do it by themselves. You get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 MPs all coming out at once. None of them will be picked on individually. They'll all be able to have the mutual support and solidarity, hopefully, of their colleagues.
You get Jack Straw, Robin Cook, Michael Howard. I mean, would there be an argument for them coming out if they weren't gay at all?
Well, that might be an interesting proposition.
It's a bloody convincing argument. Why not send a tape of this programme, say, come on, mate, you're obviously... You're a big...
Yes.
So where does that leave us? Well, let's ask our audience. And how many of you have changed your minds? And why was that? Thanks. Now, throughout tonight's programme, we've also had a naked, asexual man up a stick watching some pornography. Have you reached any conclusions? Well, I hope that's been of some help. We'll just leave you with a couple of items of whore news. There's a large build-up of whores in a digger on the A47 tonight. And don't forget that in Leicester, Joanna Lumley, Anita Roddick and Helena Bonham Carter are all whoring themselves all night to raise a little money to buy some coloured bricks for some children. Helena's speciality there is a golden shower. And if you're anywhere near Yarmouth, watch out for that giant whore. It's still on the loose, terrifying everybody, including the police. That's it. Good night. Good evening. Crouching, because tonight we're following a gang of men who less than half an hour ago broke into that building over there. One of them's a recidivist. These men have been specially trained. Look at that training! Look at it! Which one is it? Where is it? Crime is confusing! Crime is confusing!
I've got him, he's over here!
Yeah, this is the man. His name is Richie Blawes. Look at the front of his head. You've probably seen it before, because less than 2 months ago he was on this programme saying, I'm giving up crime.
What's going on here?
Why have you gone back to crime?
Oh, fucking camera!
He doesn't know. Tonight on Brasseye. Why has he gone back to the crime that he turned his back on? UK used to mean United Kingdom, but ask anyone today and they'll tell you it stands for Unbelievable Crime Wave.
No one is safe. By the end of tomorrow, one or all of these people may have been set on fire, bum-raped or burgled senseless by Britain's marauding criminals. This month, police pictures showed another estate in Manchester turning itself into a gun. And it's not just the great unhosed. These raiders all earn over £200,000 a year in big banks. So much for recorded crimes, but crimes we know nothing about are going up as well. What hope do we have of battering these down? The Home Secretary scores repeated own goals. Over 1,200 convicts were released last month after lying to the Home Office about how long they'd been inside. And just 2 days ago, it was revealed that convicts in Dartmoor prison had been running an international airport for over 14 years.
I am not an expert on air traffic control. I thought they were landing nearby, but not in my prison.
So what causes crime? Social deprivation? This bleak report from Ted Moore.
From the moon, Kozik's a little dot. From the ground, it's a huge mess, like Dante meets Bosch in a crack lounge. I'm here to ask a question. Is alarm justified? Is time running out for Kozik? Or is this the start of a new day? The first day of spring.
Kozik. The stench of poverty hangs in the air like an old man's nappy. For the kids, it's a depravity supermarket, where bad is free and society foots the bill. Not many cars to nick here, so instead they hijack pedestrians and run them around at terrifying leg speeds. It's called git surfing. All too often, the git is one of their own mothers. The latest trick, catapult them into a shop and force them to steal booze, fags and mags.
Back Charlie, come back 5.
For the cops, it's a jungle where dangerous animals speak Swahili.
Sounds like we got a burst shop.
Kids burst shops by filling them with rice and pouring in water, then standing back and laughing while the bricks are ripped apart by the swelling food. They say a bored mind makes a great office for the devil. In Kerry Hufford's case, it's fully air-conditioned with free typing. He's been arrested for menacing a helpless codger. Jill and Sainsbury McManus are a rattly pair of old puffins who remember Kozik in the days when people could still be trusted.
Everybody had keys to everybody else's house, you know, and the locks were, well, they were sort of made of something like paper.
On September the 15th, the McManuses went to bed, unaware they were being watched by the Hufford gang. Moments later, 3 kids had broken in. Kerry was dressed as an angel. He woke the old man up and told him he was dead and must go outside and bury himself.
He ran out of the room. Kerry and me just were rolling about on the floor in hysterics, and he was pulling all the grass out with his hands and chucking it everywhere, and we were just behind the bush laughing at him.
Sainsbury would definitely be Costa del Blowfly if the cops hadn't seen his body by chance while they were tracking a man who'd buggered a heron. Maybe we can understand kids like Kerry by looking at his family. Dad unemployed, mum depressed beyond tablets. You want to help these people, but the truth is they've got to help themselves.
Do you agree with this question? If you don't get a job, he gets stuffed.
But the point is I'm trying to get a job. It's not as though I'm not trying to get a job.
You must try harder.
I'm trying. I'm doing the...
Yeah, but really hard.
I am trying very hard, though.
Well, couldn't you just go around somebody's house and clean up?
Clean up? Clean up somebody's house?
Yeah, and then ask for money for it.
Yeah, I could do that.
Why not do that tomorrow?
All right, I mean, it's split to me.
Good. Thanks for talking to us.
Kozik's people are the smashed toes of a lame duck society. A lame duck that's attacking its own feet with a sledgehammer.
Will the nightmare ever end for Kozik? Perhaps with some help from outside. Oh, yeah?
In 1993, the council gave them a football.
Good, but not enough.
In 95, Paul McCartney donated 100 top hats. Fat use. And last year, the mayor gave them a gold mine.
It actually worked for a bit, this, until someone clogged it up with sick. Sick's a sort of metaphor for the way these people lead their lives. And it's going to stay that way till someone lets in the wind of change.
And as a result of that experience, Ted Maule has been absent for some time with nervous exhaust.
Do you feel that vigilantism is actually going to help in the long run?
I think it will arise in an area where something has gone wrong.
I mean, in Gotham City, in the United States, they call up a specialist vigilante agent when they're in times of real trouble by projecting a huge luminous emergency bat sign into the sky. And he comes rushing in, and so far that has worked. Is that something that should be encouraged?
I'd have to see it.
Well, it looks good.
It would have to be a very individual with great magnetism.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think
it's his special sign.
They're one-offs of that sort of thing, and it's very nice in schoolmastering when you have people who one-offs who can actually do it in a way that nobody else can do it. But don't try and get other people doing it.
But when he, you know, Bruce Wayne goes, then it's all going to collapse.
Yeah. Well, it's happened throughout history.
Is crime going to get any worse? Yes, it is. Just look at America. Alabaster Codify reports on their latest mess.
Fatanoid with Chuck Fatanoid.
Top talk topics stateside right now.
Priests with guns.
The priests who say they must pack a piece to keep the peace.
Last week I had, well, maybe 200, 300 in the congregation. I got up in front of them and I said, anybody here who's got a gun can leave now. 10 minutes later, 3 people are left, 2 kids and a deaf guy.
The Padre Noir really took off after Minister Volkus Wabe was shot at a baptism for forgetting the baby's name.
Fucking asshole!
More and more, the Holy Flock is becoming a gory gun-gregation. Practicing 4 times a week, Father Kupek's a fully fledged revolver round.
Tell us about the style you had there. But I use the one-handed grip. It actually gives you a smaller profile if there's answering fire, like from the congregation or something.
And in Kupek's church, a would-be shootist doesn't have a prayer.
This is a defensive measure which is bulletproof, and the hole has been cut so I can return fire. That was the pimp that took the crucifix out of my church and put it on his car.
That's the holy gun spell, according to Saint Marksman.
Got him that time.
And there's even ad campaigns to recruit more pistol apostles.
No room at the inn? There is now.
Judas, you plan to betray me.
Despite the increasing violence against priests, many say they are simply too revved up to handle guns, as at this wedding where Minister Pat Rizzo shot a guest in the leg. The issue peaked on TV yesterday on a rat-a-tat-tat show showdown featuring Kupek and the 2 protagonists.
You were shot by a minister with a gun.
That's right.
Okay, you were shot by this minister with a gun.
Oh.
This is Pat Rizzo, the man who shot at the wedding. Okay, now I know you haven't seen him for 6 weeks, not since he shot you. Just react.
What the hell were you doing?
Look, you moved funny, I had to shoot.
What do you mean I moved funny? I was standing in a church
You
at a
look like
wedding.
a criminal.
What do you mean I look like
those
a
hairy
criminal?
arms. You could be a man in a dress.
Right, you! I'm gonna get you! Don't shoot me behind
Put that gun down. Pouch the piece. Someone could get shot here. Someone could get shot. Pouch that piece, Padre.
Stay where you are.
2 priests left the show in a tank, shooting as they went. So, as the AMU missionaries get trigger holy, Sunday turns to gun day, and America awaits the blast judgment.
This is Alabaster Codify for ⁱ and Brasseye.
And sadly, crime experts predict that one day, even friendly conversation between mother and daughter will be conducted at gunpoint.
Up next, a new scheme for young offenders.
Take the cashback scheme that they're going to try in Toxteth, where young offenders are on a 14-week sentence. Costs about £2 grand a week to keep them in. So rather than spend 28 grand and keep them inside, they give them 25 grand and say, here you are, use that for a positive reason.
I think it's a smashing idea. Yeah, go. Yeah, I do, honestly.
If someone had done that to you, what would have happened?
I don't think you'd have ever heard of me again.
Do you think perhaps enlisting somebody like Richard Branson to sell the cashback scheme might just work, might just get through to people?
I wouldn't say no to that.
I suppose if there was an element of stick Richard Branson up in a balloon watching this situation and saying, there's your £26,000, but I'm watching you from a balloon, and I can see a very long way.
I go along with that.
Now chafing the transmission heads, what is the relationship between crime and race? Using makeup sticks, we transformed our white reporter ⵗᵗ into a black man to see if the law would treat him any differently. Within 5 minutes, he'd committed a pocket theft, and by mid-afternoon, he was attacking passers-by with violent muggings and fleecing them viciously on the cobbles.
Well, there's the evidence. Mr. Coker, what do you make of that?
Now that I've seen the proof, I apologize to my fellow blacks. I'm sorry.
Mr. Coker, thank you very much. So what's the solution to rising crime, particularly younger and younger? For many, the answer to the crime problem can be summed up in just one word. Bring back Borstal.
But did they work?
Good question, because Borstals were phased out in 1982.
Tedmore reports.
Borstals like Falkhurst are to be axed because reports show they're full of men who should have been released years ago.
Jock Bosonnet was sent here as a juvenile offender in 1949. He never left because he kept failing release tests. Like hundreds of others, he remained in chokey, even though the offences were small and twatty.
When I was 7, I got dressed up as a little city gent and walked into the Bank of England shouting, "Fuck the pound."
While the situation is clearly grave enough to merit a black and white freeze frame, the solution may already be at hand, with the opening of the new harsh pounds for young offenders. Libby Schuss reports.
Leopold Quay, opened 6 months ago, right here, and already is being favoured by both main political parties and the third party, who are with Ashdown. I'm going inside now, like a bad boy. The new inmates are welcomed on arrival.
You shits up that hell!
And are sent straight to the shaving room. Here, their eyebrows are shaved off, which undermines their self-respect rather well.
If you think of a fly and you pull its wings off, it'll crawl. And if you push the back half of its body onto the surface it's squiggling on, then you've got its total, undivided attention.
In the Gulf War, Jackson was Allied advisor on psycho battery. At Leopold, his expertise is applied without mercy. The inmate's sleep is frequently interrupted. Room inspections are full of sneaky traps, like the brass moustache, hidden behind a notice board.
Why didn't you polish it?
Sir.
How funny is it?
Not sir.
Bury the beds.
Match these pillow sheets outside Bury, now!
The men will dig up their bedclothes again this evening and sleep in them, all earthy. If they'd done better, they might have won a privilege. Despite his criminal mind, this man is behaving well. His reward is the canoe. This time he can sit in the canoe for up to an hour. Meanwhile, the troublemaker is made to sprint blindfold to Jackson's office, where he receives a speaking down.
That is my big shiny shoe, and you are the biggest piece of shit on it. Sir. Lick yourself off my shoe. Lick yourself off my shoe. Actually, my shoe! Don't actually do it! Where's your self-recocking-spect? Get out!
Sir.
Now! Sir. Look at me! Get out! If you take a seal and hit it very hard in the face every day for 6 weeks, you may
turn it into a rather fetching hat.
And the future for these little fuckers? Will they succeed in returning to society?
So you're nearing the end of your training, your regime, and looking forward to joining society again. Tell me, how do you feel about that?
I've got skills.
Skills for what?
Getting back into society.
Well, you could have a family, and...
I could have, I don't know.
I mean, if you made the effort, became a part of a family, then you could root yourself into the fabric of society more.
I'll root you in the fabric.
There is a serious question. I am from society. You're not from society. How do you get back into society?
Up your ass.
There are no simple answers to the problem of punishment, but there is a simple question. Would it really matter if one of these men died?
Perhaps the most positive step has come from the Home Office action group ⁱ who produced a video to play to young offenders on their arrival in prison.
Well, they got you then. They gone and banged you up good and proper. So what now? What I'd like to do right now is to take your bad half outside and do it in extremely physical discourtesy, and then buy your good half a pint of foaming nut brown ale. Cheers. Meet Jeff Boycott and shake hands with a walking continent of common sense.
I didn't get runs by slacking. I worked hard, I grafted, I practiced, I did it as well as I could, properly. So when you get up in the morning, what do? You get out of bed properly, and that means all the way out of it. Get right out of the bed. No half measures. You must get your whole body out of the bed, right out from under the sheets, right off the mattress, until you're standing up. You won't get anywhere slouching about half out of bed. Do you seriously think the people here wouldn't notice if you were only half out of the bed? Come on, wise up. Did I walk out to bat when I was half asleep or half out of bed? Of course not. I bloody well didn't. Remember, the best technique is to look at that bed and then try and get as far away from it as possible.
Gary Glitter said, good to be back, but in your case, that does not apply. I can't believe it, you little ponce. You gone done it again, ain't ya? Did you really like it so much last time? Did you? What? You didn't? Then why the hell did you come back? All right, easy now. No foaming nut brown ale for you this time, but here, for God's sake, listen to this and do us a favour, mate. Pay attention. This time.
I've been asked to read the words of a successful reformed criminal, someone who got a grip. And this is what he says: remember that your life in prison is like a dog in a box. What you've got to do is make the dog bigger than the box. Not in a bad way, like a mad wolf in a matchbox, but more like a giant, a well-behaved Alsatian in a Kleenex box. Your aim is to place that dog in the lap of the governor, that's the evil part of you, with a smile as you leave.
You are a murderer, and I can only pray to God that you watch and you listen very carefully to this.
Hello, you think you don't know me, don't you? Yes, but you do, because I'm the shopkeeper you shot in a mindless hold-up. You blew out my guts, remember? I'm the old lady whose head you stove in with a loose wardrobe in the middle of the night. Remember? I'm the little boy whose face you stabbed off in panic when I found you robbing my house. Remember? I'm Marvin Gaye, shot by my own father. Oh yes, you know me all right. Look at my eyes, murderer. You killed me. What the hell did you do that for? Look at me. Feel proud, do you? Do you even know what a feeling is? I do, but I can't have any more now because of you. You get out after 25 years, but me, I'm here forever. I hate you.
Now, while you're inside here, you're going to have to learn a whole new language. It's not French, it's prison slang, and I've got some of it written here, so it might help you. Howard's arse means prison. 1-0 at half-time means food. Woggy coconuts means air brakes. Gaza is a gas coin used as currency for cigarettes. Plank sanction, a 1-for-1 fag exchange. Sue my chin, give us a fag, I'll give you 2 next week. Buff my pylon, give us a fag, you owe me 2, so I'm letting you off the other one. Don't buff my pylon, switch over the telly, and very, very important, this one, Portillo means look out behind you. Learn the language, better communication.
Well, that's one way of dealing with offenders in prison. But what about the bigger picture? Thanks to the News Dwarf.
Pleasure, Chris.
The hope is that we'll benefit from a number of European projects.
Research shows that football riots can be halted instantly by showing pornography on the video displays. For street disturbances, the Metropolitan Police are now breeding elephants, following their successful deployment in Athens and Turin.
In Holland, they've halved the crime rate by legalising murder with the introduction of slaughter cafes.
We used to come here with knives and everything, slashing our dead with the guts and all that blood all over. But we got bored after that, after about 2 weeks. And I just eat my cake now and wash it down with a nice cup of coffee. This French system of victim support comes to Britain next year. Last month, that woman woke up to find a young offender defecating on her floor.
Under police supervision, she now meets the offender at his house and is given an hour to formalise a similar return on his floor.
Good night.
I'm sort of violently against hanging, for example. I believe no human's got the right to take another human's life.
Hang on, let me get this right. So you shouldn't be allowed to take away someone's life?
Now, what I'm saying is I personally...
The penalty for taking away somebody's life should be the death penalty?
No, I personally totally oppose the death penalty.
But it's all right to take away someone's life?
No, only in self-defence.
So if you murder somebody, you've taken away their life. And in that circumstance only, then that person should be killed?
No.
No.
I believe under no circumstances does one human being got the right to take another human being's life.
No way, surely.
That's my opinion.
Oh, right, OK.
I'm not saying it's... I mean, everything's about opinions.
Is it? Yes, it is. What about capital punishment for murder only?
No, I personally believe on moral grounds that no human being can take another human being's life.
Well, if you didn't take their life, you just murdered them.
Say that again.
Well, if you didn't take somebody's life, but you just murdered them.
Dreadful. Shiny, spunky little cunt.
I am proud to be stupid.
Tonight on Brasseye, are we in a state of irreversible decline? What's the reason? What can be done about it? And if there is a solution, who on earth is going to put it into action?
Or is everything just great?
evening. Now, this is the nerve centre of tonight's programme. To help paint a true picture of the state of Britain, we have live surveillance cameras out. One of them has a reporter stuck on the front. ●ᵉᵃᵗ. Austin, what are you doing?
I'm at a garage in the centre of Clapton in London, which is raided every 35 minutes, day and night. So we hope that during the next half hour or so, we may well see some action here this evening.
We certainly do. Now, just 5 minutes ago, we received these disturbing pictures from a camera in a playground. They show an apparently innocent-looking children's game, which is in fact an exchange of drugs. There they go. And if you think about it, those two children are extremely lucky not to have been killed to bits.
The state of Britain. 1996. What is the true state of Britain? Basking in rude health?
Or sick to the guts. It's the moral-mometer now reading less than 2 morals per head, due to massive value hemorrhage. Some would say Tish and Fipsy, but others wouldn't, due to repeat woundings from weapons like this and this.
This is where pop happens. And pop is always looking for trouble. The new single by Blouse is a song of love to Myra Hindley, and it's caused more stink than a bomb in one of those holes in the ground at a rock festival that everybody shits in.
When I saw your photo in the press, I thought, is she blonde under her dress? I thought, I hope they make her take off her dress for the next one. But they didn't even know it would be so much better if they had dinner right sit down in a fag.
Myra Hindley is a very complex woman, you know, and this song is about her hair.
I used to have your picture in the toilet. I wanted you to see my naked body and oil it, but my mother had to catch me and spoil it.
And I don't think even you could have given me more murder.
I don't think there's a single reference in the song to her brain, which I think maybe add a slight problem.
Every time I see your picture, Myra, I have to phone my latest girlfriend and fire her and find a prostitute that looks like you and Ira. Oh, the old Myra.
I do think if somebody's gone and bought this record, just because of the fuss that's been made about it, I think they should throw it away. And then they should go and buy another copy because they like the song.
You better watch out, lady, I'm gonna have you lady. Just because I want her, just because I can get her and you can't. So pogo on that, you twat.
Traditionally, we turn to the Bible for help, but now even that's been devalued by those who used to espouse it.
Terry Waite, once special envoy to the Archbishop of Canterbury, has been paid £2 million to write a 5th gospel to replace the existing 4.
Jesus didn't know he was Jesus until he'd been chained to the radiator for some time.
Are we now utterly without guidance? How else do you explain the popularity of events like this?
Next week, Peter Sutcliffe takes to the West End stage to star in a musical of his own life.
On day release from Broadmoor Prison, Sutcliffe has been rehearsing intensively for 3 months. The role includes singing police chases,
You'll never get me in the slammer.
but finishes with Sutcliffe atoning for his crimes.
And I really am so very truly sorry.
Co-star Marigold Blenny says he's a kind man with a sense of humour.
I mean, you see how dark it is here. I mean, he's always jumping out at you, whoa, like this.
So what's the audience going to make of it?
I think they'll go away thinking, maybe he's really a misunderstood man. Maybe that, 20 years ago he was taking the piss.
But not everyone sees the positive side.
Peter Sutcliffe is allowed out under police escort from Broadmoor to perform a work about his own life in musical form. The catch is, you see, he appears on stage and he says, I'm sorry.
I don't care what he's saying. Don't he say he's forfeited his rights to society by doing so much damage to society?
His agent says it's a...
His agent? What a game he's got here.
Yeah, I know.
What an agent?
Well,
a man who is in jail for life.
The producer of the show. The producer of the show.
Well, there shouldn't be a show.
Should we revive our ailing culture, or should we just put it out of its misery? Or should we bring it back to life and then shoot it for letting us down so badly? You haven't got a clue, have you? But you will do if you watch for 30 minutes. Now, if you want to take part in the programme and let us know what you think of Britain's state of decline, then please do make use of our phones. Just like to check at that garage where there could be an incident at any moment. ⁱᵉᵃᵗ is there. Austin, anything... Austin, oi! Anything happened?
No, nothing. Well, I mean, earlier on there was a small incident with a pen, but no, nothing serious, no.
Can you tell me exactly what you mean by a small incident with a pen?
Well, we don't know for sure.
So why mention it?
Just, it was a small incident, that's all, with a pen.
Thanks, Austin. Well, now to shocking events that have actually happened, as we lift the whistle on drugs in the workplace and show how employees at Shaftesbury's Jams in Colchester are using illegal high drugs on a daily basis.
Shaftesbury's Jam has run at a profit since 1977. Staff are encouraged to use cannabis, cocaine, crack and heroin whenever they feel the need. It's the weekly production meeting. The new product, Loganberry Jam, is behind schedule.
Yeah, there is a delay. It's a twofold problem, really. I needed a clearer indication from marketing about 5 weeks ago of the shape of jar that we were going for. If I'd had it then, we'd only be about a week behind now. But
I've got a couple of points I'd like to make here. I mean, Graham's lead times are way too long.
They're not my lead times. These are the times given to me by the company.
The company has used drugs to improve its performance for the past 17 years.
Far too long. That's what's holding us up. Exactly.
An hour later, the drugs are speeding efficiency and decision-making. The odd shirt is changed as old veins are damaged, and a small vomiting has taken place.
There's no conceivable way we can make a profit. It's pretty fucking simple.
The only problem seems to be Matthew, a new recruit from Spiller's Dog Foods, who's inexperienced at crack.
Prestige jam, and that's what we've done.
He's beginning to suffer.
Having 75% fruit content.
We do still have a prestigious product, Mandy, but I must agree with Matthew on this point. Because of financial restraints, our hands are tied.
What if the lids were berry-shaped?
Okay.
We could have berry-shaped lids.
No, we'll start at 70%, and then over a 2-year period, we'll decrease to a 55%.
18 months.
I don't see how we can do that.
Well, because of our restraints, I'm afraid.
Run it.
Go with what I decided. And I've decided that we'll start at 70%, and over a 2-year period, we'll reduce to 55%.
18 months.
No, I think 2 years has got to be the period, Matthew. I think 18 months is too short a time. Next business. Apricots. More jar trouble, Graham.
Yeah. They're breaking. It's just it's a temperature control. Jam's coming out about a couple of degrees hotter than normal. Just really got to work on the thermostat of the valves. You should be all right.
It's nothing to do with the German machinery.
No, the machinery's fine. With the machinery itself.
In time, Matthew will learn his level. With company profits still rising, it is unlikely that anyone here will want to change the chemistry.
Married her. What does he expect? We're back live now, going to that garage which we're expecting to be raided at any second. ᵉᵃᵗ is there. Austin, anything happened?
Nothing.
No violence or stabbings?
None at all, Chris, no.
What about those men behind you? What are they doing?
I think they're just buying some petrol.
Are you sure?
Are you buying some petrol?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Austin. Well, if that apparently innocent-looking purchase did turn into a shooting, then this is what it would look like. Now, according to experts, that's exactly what would happen.
We certainly hope so, yes.
Belt up. I'm sitting opposite a man. He knows nothing. He talks all the time. The result is he's a trenchant buffoon. He has no idea how to present television shows. He looks ridiculous in that fashion wear. He swans around all the time hoping that people will recognise him, when in fact nobody's even remotely interested. He's taking up enough time on this show already, and he hasn't even opened his mouth. God knows why he's here. I've nothing to ask the guy. And for all I know, he may well be a bit of a ⵒᵒᵉᵃ too. Darkus Howe.
What's a ⵒᵒᵉᵃ?
ⵒᵒᵉᵃ, that's just what I've got. Oh, sorry, that's the introduction to Robert Elms. Sorry, do you know Robert Elms? I've just read out the introduction to Robert Elms.
She just caught fire. It wasn't my fault.
Back to our live cameras now. ┬Ż┬Ż is at that garage. We're expecting to be raided at any moment now. Austin, any incidents yet?
There's still nothing going on here, Chris, apart from young Seagull that seems to have broken into the booth and is making the man there rather unhappy.
Fucking bird.
In a few minutes, has even our sense of fair play been eroded? News exposes the growing fashion for torturing golf caddies.
There's what they call a tea sandwich. And you hear that question, do you want tea? And that means just 20, 25 golf tees, mixture of wood and plastic in 2 big hunks of bread. And you're forced to eat that.
The broadcaster and entertainer Clive Anderson has been shot dead by television host Noel Edmonds at his house in Cornwall this evening. Police attended the incident but were prevented from entering the grounds by machine gun fire. From Cornwall, Vivian Banch reports.
The incident took place at around 7:30 during dinner when Mr. Edmonds produced an automatic weapon and began shooting indiscriminately at his guests.
One servant witnessed the bloodbath but managed to escape intact.
I came round the grounds, round the back way, and then got through the fence over here.
Any idea why Edmonds has done this?
No idea. He's never done it before.
An hour later, Edmonds appeared at a top window with blood on his face and threw what may have been a head onto the ground below. It is not known what happened to the other guests, but Edmonds has now taken up position on his roof with an armoury of precision weapons. Less than half an hour ago, he was seen firing a rocket launcher at a wedding party over a mile away. The estate is now surrounded, but police fear he may take to the air in a helicopter gunship and start spreading his massacre over hundreds of miles.
The world of show business has tonight reacted with sadness and horror.
Well, I just heard a rumour about it. I don't know what's happened at all.
Apparently Clive Anderson was shot.
Clive Anderson was shot? By who? Not by...
By Noel Edmonds, yeah.
What? No.
I'd say there's no excuse. None whatsoever.
And if Edmonds is still inside the house?
Well, just shoot him. I mean, people like me, we're supposed to be rascals. But it's your Edmonds, your Thomas Hamiltons, your Hungerford guy, all so-called nice people.
They ought to shoot him off the roof as quickly as possible.
Yes.
And there'll be an update at 11:30 after our next scheduled programme.
Coming up, can our decline be blamed on God?
This is the house of God. So where's the landlord? It's infested with rot. I doubt if he's paid a visit in 20 years. These people, look at them. They're nothing more than tenants in a dead man's shack. That idiot pukes it out and they hoover it up like sick puppies. Just a second, Father. When did you last check your facts? My point entirely. We've had this book analysed. It reads like the ramblings of a drugged horse. The question tonight, is God confused like his prating truth pimps, or is he dead?
The Catholic Church is in turmoil after an apparition claiming to be Christ drunkenly cursed pilgrims at a holy site in Yugoslavia.
He called us fucking idiots and said drink St. Peter's piss.
Cardinal Hume was badly shaken by the vision and today issued what could be a resignation statement, saying, "It was bad enough to see him curse like a footballer, but I lost my faith completely when he farted on my balls."
Welcome back. I was about to read out some of this drivel that you've been phoning in all evening, but luckily we've been saved from that because there has been an incident at that garage. Nothing more than a seagull attack when we were last there, but it's got a bit more dramatic. Austin Tassel time. What's happened?
Things have become completely exciting here because the ferocity of the seagull became very unpleasant towards the man, and the man panicked and started shooting at it with some flaming lighter fuel. That's when I thought, no, because back garage, and the bird caught fire and smashed through the window into the forecourt next to a man who was filling up his car with petrol. And at this point, I find myself flying through a hedge with precaution. The garage man produced an air pistol and started shooting at the bird, but instead he hit the man in the knee. And the man, I think, must have wheeled around and sprayed absolutely everything with petrol, because when the bird blew up, the whole place went sky high. And I've certainly never seen any... I mean, I'm not sure if this is a true disaster or just a cross between a very unpleasant event and a rather stupid one.
Thank you.
This is the Frankie Fraser madometer, right? So it's a low miff down here, a mad as a lorry up that end, and all the stages in between. Some examples, right? Somebody gives you a bit of verbal GBH of the ear roll. Is that low?
That's low, yeah.
That's low, OK, so that might go there. Some Herbert's touching up your bird.
Wouldn't like that, no.
OK, fondled by a nonce.
Oh, he'd suffer for that.
Right, OK, so that might be up here. Being grassed up to the filth.
That would have to go up here.
Right up here. OK, now I'm interested to see what happens now. Reading about a pervert who interferes with the kids.
Well, if you had another one further along here...
So that can go actually off the scale?
Yeah.
All right, and I just want to...
Anything go with him.
Anything at all?
Anything.
Right. Here you are being grassed up to the filth. How would you feel if you there had accidentally grassed yourself?
Well, that's my own fault in the beard, wasn't it?
So that will make you less mad?
Well, if I've accidentally grassed yourself, you'd have yourself to blame. But how on earth could you grass yourself?
I don't know, you might have got drunk or something, you might have given yourself away.
No way, no, you don't do that. That can't happen, no. We're too experienced now.
Was there ever a time when you weren't experienced?
Never, no.
Do you think you were born experienced enough not to grass yourself?
I think so, yeah.
Whatever our state of decline, there's no denying the power of miracles to focus hope. Moss Staples has been to Ireland, where he done this. Ballycreen, rural, pastoral and peaceful. The last notable event here was in 1792, when the nationalist Patrick Duggan single-handedly besieged the British Army until it starved to death. But for that, Ballycreen wouldn't bother a single map.
Or a guidebook. There's only one entry. It's less than an inch long. But all that's changed now because of that one.
Patricia O'Dennell, the local girl who says she saw the statue of Mary driving a car through a field.
Patricia, what does the statue do?
It kisses me and tells me everything will be all right with Daddy.
2 days later, Spike D'Nabony claimed the statue had driven into his garage and asked for petrol.
I thought I heard it say very quietly, fill her up. So I did. She pulled the face. Went like this.
Villagers at the grotto started incorporating the face into their prayers.
Amen.
Many say they hear the sound of roaring engines or see puffs of smoke from the grotto exhaust pipe. The driving statue has also brought pennies from heaven. If you look for a doubt here, you won't find one here.
Proof for me is that they found a white plaster powder, and they're after sending it off for testing, and the results came back, and there's virgin DNA in the plaster.
No one takes it more seriously than Patricia's mother.
I gently suggested she might like to pray in the middle of the road, and that if she were to be killed by a car, then the chances of her going to heaven would be higher.
When you're kneeling in the road, do you think, I want a car to come and hit me?
Yes.
Kneeling girls, statues, driving cars. What's going on?
10 years ago, a man was arrested in the area for driving statues around in a car. Was it him?
Right, not you then.
He told us not. Could the priest explain it?
Well, I think it's unlikely it was a miracle, but the fact that the car has been driven on the right-hand side might indicate that she came from the Holy Land.
No.
The most likely explanation is that people are just seeing some blue light bouncing off a strut. But try telling that to these bog-brain Murphys. You'd have more chance of getting a blowjob from the Pope.
Well, just a moment to recap on the state of Britain. Your phone calls tonight have been described variously as rabid, pig-ignorant, and stultifyingly ill-informed. Thanks for those. Just want to go back to that exploded garage, because it could, of course, still be the scene of a late-night incident. Austin Tasseltine, will you stay there for us all night?
Yes, yes, I will, yes.
Good man. And we leave you tonight with a question. As we approach the third millennium, have we really come to this? I'm afraid the answer is yes. Good night.
These are our children. They skip down our streets, but the paedophile is waiting.
Take a look at this. What is it? Just a hillside? Look again. There's a child there, no more than a blue speck. But the fact is, if you show this picture to a paedophile, they'll actually try and attack it in an attempt to reach the child. That's the sort of warped mindset we're dealing with.
Even our most drastic measures don't work. Last month, the notorious paedophile Sidney Cook was blasted into space to spend the rest of his life aboard a one-man prison vessel, posing no further threat to children on Earth. But it was revealed that an 8-year-old boy was also placed on board by mistake and is now trapped alone in space with the monster. A spokesman said, "This is the one thing we didn't want to happen."
Why can we no longer think of the British Isles without the word pedof in front of them? Good evening. We're live tonight from the epicenter of Operation Daisy Bird. Welcome to Pedogeddon.
People like this are everywhere.
That's why my own children are here with me. Good night, children. They're safe tonight. Are yours?
I doubt it. That's why we've taken over every major stadium in the country. Please, we must have your children safe in one of those by midnight.
They're already filling up nicely, and that's a check-in area in Cardiff, and you can see clowns there fitting children with anti-paedophile canisters. Those canisters can be remotely activated if the child goes missing. They put off paedophiles by spraying the child with 8 litres of pressurised sewerage.
We're after your help too. Security footage of a paedophile disguised as a school. He's been getting away with it in Sheffield for 12 years. Do you know him? Have you seen him? Please call.
Yes, we must catch that man. He really is a shit.
But let's start with a look at how the paedophile problem has grown over the years.
Victorian Britain. This man is having sex with a 10-year-old girl. In our reconstruction, she's played by a 25-year-old woman. The breasts are inaccurate. A child's breasts are small. The nipples, much like those of a boy. But this isn't paedophilia. The girl's a whore.
Can I have the money now, please?
In the 1950s, a national questionnaire explained exactly what a paedophile was. Each man in Britain was asked if he thought he was one. 92% said yes. 1969 and the summer of Pan saw thousands of young paedophiles party without shame in parks and fields. And as late as 1973, people still thought nothing of hits like Playground Bangaround.
Turn right inside, turn little boy on the slide, little girl on the swing. As I sing the whole thing. Playground Bangaround, bang a little boy, girl. Playground Bangaround, bang a little girl.
But today, the number of children having sex with adults is beyond belief. If you define a child as anyone under 30, the figure is over 86%. Institutional paedophilia spreads wide rife.
So what measures did you take to ensure this man wouldn't offend again?
We invited a 10-year-old boy into the room and we asked the man, "Are you attracted to this boy?" And he said no.
And you believed him?
Yes.
Even though on that occasion he put his hand down the boy's trousers?
He was trying to save the boy from a fly.
We have become a people confused.
Dear sir, I am a paedophile. Please can I have sex with this 3-year-old girl now that she's 21?
No way.
You should be in a mental asylum.
A large crowd has gathered outside Dredgemore Prison tonight to protest against tomorrow's planned release of the notorious paedophile, Jez North. Ted Moule has this there.
Yes, and I don't know if you can sense the air of aggression here, but 10 minutes ago, we threw this crowd a dummy full of guts. It lasted just 8 seconds. This is very much a protest that swallowed a bomb and given the detonator to a monkey.
What's that behind you, Ted?
The giant, dressed as a girl, it's been here all day.
Thanks, Ted. So who is Jez North? In 1986, Jez North was convicted for multiple acts. We believe his story is actually too upsetting to transmit. We only do so tonight with that proviso.
I drew pictures of him and they were disgusting.
His handwriting was definitely too big.
I remember once he got his bum out.
Like so many of his kind, North was required to leave school after passing exams and took a job delivering potatoes. The perfect cover for a serial robe intruder. By night, he trawled these hell blocks for innocent vulnerables. I recently met one of North's victims. She was in fact so upset she would only talk to us through her sister disguised as a plastic troll.
She still can't really speak about it.
We asked Kelly if she would mind demonstrating North's perversions. Someone who agrees to rub their breasts on television is clearly inexcusably disturbed. But incredibly, it took the police another 8 years to bring North to justice.
At this house, on the 26th of March 1986, North was arrested. He received 4 life sentences to run, Austin Tasseltine, sequentially. Thanks, Austin. But even in prison, North's rastopedic impulses found new outlets.
He was allowed to write articles for a magazine, edited by a man who at that time had a 9-year-old nephew with a nice pink arse and no hair on his balls. The orgy of sly-winking usury was only brought to an end by a stairwell nonce bashing, which left North brain dead and quadraspazzed on a life glug.
Jez North is released tomorrow. Can we be sure that pervert mechanics haven't built him one of these?
Of course we can't, which is why your children could very soon be splatted by a roboplegic wrongcock.
Now, what are the facts about paedophiles? Lardon Iridesco reports.
This is ⁉ᵉ, the country's leading authority on paedophiles, using Britain's best-loved heads...
And I'm talking nonsense.
...to broadcast paedophile facts.
This is a crab. This has sex with kids.
...to those most in danger.
Let's just get one thing straight. The British Army has never launched an offensive against a 6-year-old child.
Gerald Howarth here for ⁉ᵉ, incorporating no offence, no offence, no offence, and no thanks.
Paedophiles are very good at disguising themselves. These are 2 photographs of the same paedophile, before and after. And it works too. This man is still at large in the United States. He's believed to have a low-status job inside the music industry.
How brazen and shameless is the modern paedophile? Well, take a look at this card here. What sort of sick individual puts things like this up in a telephone box? What sort of thing was going through his mind?
Genetically, paedophiles have more genes in common with crabs than they do with you and me. Now that is scientific fact. There's no real evidence for it, but it is scientific fact.
Children today often have mobile phones, but so too do paedophiles using text message slang. And because they're on edge, they dial wrong numbers. So watch out for these. Pipe-to-pipe bushman, code for 2 paedophiles having sex with each other while watching children from a shrub.
DBL means dusky blonde Lulu, and that's a male paedophile disguised as a lion.
Baltimorer, this means literally, I'm running at them now with my trousers down.
This man is using clapping to describe a 6-year-old child alone in a department store while her mother is distracted using a mobile telephone. Other paedophiles in the area can now take advantage of this child by using this method of communication.
I'd like to play you a piece of music called Stay Away From Me by the American chart toppers Smash My Brother's Face In.
A paedophile would be really nonplussed if you opened your mouth and that noise came out, so learn it.
Wadded and rammed, public support for anti-paedophile technology.
The Singapore solution. A paedophile has an implant the size of a cashew nut in his rectum. These devices are triggered by the sound of children's voices. It hears those voices, it expands to the size of a 42-inch colour television set. Bang! They fall to the ground, shrieking, and the children are safe.
Sounds good. Very good.
Very good idea. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes. And a self-confessed paedophile is confronted with what he is.
You are a paedophile. You are a nonce. You are a perv. You're a slot badger. You're a 2-pin din plug. You're a bush dodger. You're a small beam regarder. You're an Unabummer. You're a nut administrator. You're a bent ref. You're the crazy world of Arthur Brown. You're a fence foal. You're a free willy. You're a chimney bottler. You're a bunty man. You're a shrub rocketeer.
Yes, well, you know, you just mentioned some of the names that we have to put up with every day, and it's just another form of racism.
You're pedophiles, delivering justice unto men who pray sex on our children.
Men who have sacrificed the right to a life without pain.
I know how they look. I know how they think. I was one, for Christ's sake.
10 years ago, I had designs on my own kids. I knew that one day I might act on them. So to stop me, I shot myself in my own head. I'd killed the pedophile in me. Now I do the same for society. Because these men have chosen the way of the animal.
They don't deserve punishment. They deserve punishment.
The Pedophile starts next week on 4, straight after Pedophile Island. 100 kids and an ex-offender on an island full of cameras. What's going to happen?
Welcome back. In the past 3 minutes, there's been an attempt to break into Dredgemore Prison and attack the paedophile Jez North. Ted Maul is there.
Yes, a vigilante has just tried to fire himself over the prison walls using a giant catapult. Minutes earlier, a test projectile believed to be a side of beef cleared the parapets by a full 20 feet. But when the man himself was fired, his trajectory was all out of goose. He thumped into the wall, you could hear his bones breaking on impact. Medics say he may live, but only with his neck as an internal organ.
Still in the paddock, the web perverts who sell trousers to disguise erections in playgrounds.
I think it's an absolute disgrace that somebody should use the internet to market these Trust Me trousers. It makes it very difficult legally to try and pin them with the offence because it covers the fact that they're stimulated in the groin area.
And paedophilia for laughs?
Who wants a sweetie?
Reformed abuser Fenton Beasley has a best-selling autobiography and now runs bus tours of his old haunts.
You'd have to do something for Uncle Beezy first. You'd have to lift up your skirt and show me your knickers.
Why are they laughing?
What's that? Hair? I don't like hair.
Is he right to milk his perversion?
When you have children of your own, you remember Uncle Beezy and get them to undress by the window. Would you do that for me? Only kidding, only kidding.
Excellent. And I've been on that bus trip myself. I have to say, it really is very funny. You'd enjoy that, Valise. You ought to go.
Yes. Most stadiums are over half full now. There is a parent riot currently in Leeds, which started after a paedophile in a microlight committed an overhead perversion at Headingley Stadium. But police helicopters soon chased him into pylons where he crashed screaming like a pig in a war.
So what's next for Britain?
Tarted up tots at American pageants. How long before we see this in Nuneaton or Diss?
Look at these.
Oh, are they real?
Well, they're enhanced.
Oh,
Like 'em?
oh, they are so cute.
Well, we didn't want to go too big. No.
I jiggle.
Oh, God, get some of those for you, baby. They are.
Our children are already obsessed by the American rap artist J.L. Bate. Self-styled king of new-ass music, he's sold over 18 million records and dates girls as young as 7.
When you turn away from me, I'm happy because I can see your little white butt.
He's the coolest, definitely.
I'm very pleased to declare I never found a single hair on your little white butt.
Bate claims he's been unfairly treated.
Don't you think you should ask my dad, maybe? Why his dick was up my ass before I was even a baby? Sure, my butt was over the cervix. That's not a freehold for perv days. He fucked me anally, prenatally. I'm only doing unto them as he did unto me.
But he's a paedophile.
So? Like we care.
One kid polishes my balls, he's living inside my diaper. Got 2 more working my prostate with a windshield wiper.
Wouldn't you object if he tried to kiss you?
No.
Even our own artists seem hell-bent on depravativity.
Pseudophotographs.
Yeah.
Composite images.
Yes.
Which can be dangerous.
They can be. They become indecent by virtue of the way in which they've been altered.
Right.
Yep.
Work in progress by an art collective, Unhappy Disgusting Wow. A nude woman's body, a little girl's head. Now, I did actually find that quite sexually...
arousing.
arousing image, yes.
Well, the fact that you did does not mean that that's an indecent photograph of a child.
Why not?
Because it's not. Because the body is not one of a child.
Ian Didhurst's about last night.
Indecent. No, in my view, that would be...
That's indecent?
Yes.
Yeah. Indecent or not?
No.
If this were the eyes of a child...
No.
What about...
Let's just put the whole head on, yeah? What I'm saying is you've got that head on there, then yes, it would be indecent.
OK. And, let's do that. Oh, God, like that.
Will the artist mind?
I don't care. It's made me quite angry, this. Okay. We'll pay for it. Right? There. That is an indecent image, is it?
Yes.
Now, why are no paedophiles black?
And you leave the kids alone. Or else. Now, a quick recap for you. Paedophiles, crabs, simple. Hold that thought for you. Your
Get me out of here!
Just a second. I'm sorry, but we've been invaded by members of the militant paedophile organisation Millet P. This is their leader, ⁱᵉᵃ. Now listen a second. You've broken in here demanding to have your say on live television. Tell us what you believe.
What?
What do you believe?
I believe that intergenerational sex is appropriate within a loving...
Sex with children?
Yes.
Stop right there. Come on. Well done, mate. OK. That's my son, Johnny, all right? Have a look at him. Now, are you prepared to tell me you want to have sex with my son?
No.
You're ashamed, aren't you?
No, I'm not ashamed.
All right, then tell me you want to have sex with my son.
I don't.
Why not?
I don't fancy him.
What do you mean?
I just don't. I don't find him attractive, I'm sorry.
Good. Actually, you're prepared to tell the father of a 6-year-old that you want to have sex with him on live television.
I didn't.
Effectively, you did. You did. He did, ⁱᵉcheetah. He did, didn't he?
Yes, I mean, that is just so...
Yeah.
I didn't.
You did.
Online games.
Wait a minute.
The latest menace.
It was absolutely revolting.
To require urgent warnings from expert communicators.
Right, so if you could take that and hold that on just right under the camera.
Pantu the dog, a child's game on the internet. But look again. An online paedophile has converted that eye to work as a webcam to look at the child player.
Sometimes the child can glimpse the molester in that kennel, bouncing around and waving.
Wearing a T-shirt like this, the online paedophile can disguise himself as a child.
So the child thinks it's playing with another child.
It's called a hoax game, a hidden online entrapment control system.
Singapore police have sent us these pictures. This man has plugged his groin into his computer to get sexual pleasure from the actions of a child playing with Pantu.
So every time you kids tickle Panto, the paedophile gets his rocks off. And it doesn't stop there.
In this shot, Pantu the dog has told the boy to press his face onto the soft screen. Online paedophiles use special gloves to feel and palpate the child's face.
In fact, with gloves like these, the manipulator can molest any part of the child's body placed against the screen.
We even have footage which would be too alarming to show you of a little boy being interfered with by a penis-shaped sound wave generated by an online paedophile.
We believe that paedophiles are using an area of internet the size of Ireland, and through this they can control keyboards.
Online paedophiles can actually make your keyboard release toxic vapors that make you suggestible. You know, I must say, I actually feel more suggestible, and that was just with one sniff.
Hoax games can cause serious damage. One child was trapped online for a whole night and, according to a psychiatric report, came away with the jaded, listless sexual appetite of a 60-year-old colonel.
Now, here are the warning signs to show that your child might be in trouble. Are they upset? Do they smell odd? Weird question, but Hope's Games actually makes your child smell like hammers.
So come on, experts, why is no one telling us about this stuff? There's a kid in Canada who's gone almost completely 2D, and no one's doing anything about it.
Please sit your kids down tonight and tell them about Hope's Games. Let's strangle Pantu.
Let's put a bomb under Pantu's chin and stamp on his throat. Let's rip this dog's brains out.
There's been a dramatic development at Dredgemore Prison. Ted Moore has this.
An eruption of anger, the smell of burnt hair in the air. Just minutes ago, the prison authorities tried to sneak North out of the back here. It didn't work. Crowds set upon the transporter. One man ended up planted round the axle. They ripped North out of the back. And at that point, we became ominously aware of a 25-foot wicker phallus. Seconds later, North was ablaze. Sheets of flame dancing to the beat of primitive animal justice. One man kebabbed, hundreds scarred forever by a shared blood ritual. And yet, an astonishing sense of community here now, a positive atmosphere, a sense of a job well done, a shared sigh of relief, very much like the bizarre euphoria at the end of an hour's vomiting. Chris.
And we are already getting emails about the burning. Well done, that crowd. A lot of support here, even from hardened nonces.
Well, it has been a great night, hasn't it?
It certainly has, Chris. 2 million children now safe in our stadiums.
A paedophile was attacked in his car this evening, but I have to say, if your surname was File, would you call your son Peter?
No!
And look, if a child does take your fancy, please remember, leave it a couple of years.
I did.
Good night.
One day I want to, but not today.
She can be kissed, but in an innocent way.
And her cherry must ripen naturally in the soul. We're not ready yet, we're not ready yet, we're not ready today.
There's a little minx. Should I buy her with drinks? No!
But not today, not even tomorrow. But maybe the day after that.
Do you feel children are underestimated and their power to make decisions is underestimated?
Very much so.
And yet we know from history that there was a 4-year-old general at Waterloo.
Absolutely.
A headmaster in China who was 3.
Yes.
I mean, we know, for example, that Idi Amin had a smothering, slobbering aunt.
Yes, precisely. And could he say no to her? Perhaps not. I mean, if you don't make a problem out of it, then it won't become such a problem. And you won't have so many damaged people.
⁃ᵃ.
Yes, quite frankly, yes.
Last night, a DJ saved my life. How? By writing this music, which contains advice on avoiding strangers. And who was the DJ? It was none other than DJ Bob Hoskins going mental in a dustbin.
Here's a quick checklist to help you spot a paedophile.
And they're all taken from police reports in the last 6 months.
If someone tells you to take your clothes off in case your thumbs get too hot.
If someone shows you a model of your hometown and all the houses look like penises.
If someone thinks goldfish are the same as flatfish, no, there's something wrong.
Nonsense.
Put that in your ears last thing at night, because the lesson trickles in. And behavioral psychology tells us that in the morning you'll be 17.8% safer.